And we should be live. And visible.
Hey guys. Oh,
In
oh my
theory.
tea. I'm
In
seeing us
theory.
off the studio.
Oh, good. I can see both of our audios coming in, and we're in theory we're at the same level, so I don't know how that's gonna translate across to like, you know, you know what I mean. But yeah,
Yeah, I know exactly what you need.
you know exactly what I mean. Okay.
Especially because I'm on a new mic today.
Yeah. Um, just from the way that you're coming in through Discord, I would recommend getting a second foam cover on that thing if you don't have one already. Or some sort of pop filter, because you're echoing a fair bit. At least coming through my headphones. It could be fixed with like a pop filter or two, but
I think the old one will still fit on this one, so let me take a look.
yeah, I
It's the same
would.
brand.
Yeah. Just something to dampen slightly the echo. I know that you don't really have like soundproofing in the apartment because it's not really possible.
No.
Yeah, you and plus the way that Realm and I soundproof is not the same way that you'd be able to soundproof.
I've neither got the space nor the books for that, and nor the
Yeah.
clutter.
Yeah.
Realm sound is divine, so I'm gonna mute.
Oh. Oh. I hope that didn't. It did. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Okay, how am I coming through now?
It sounds better now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
put.
I know. Unfortunately, I don't have the clutter of Realm, nor your books, but Realm does sound divine if you go and listen to his. Did you go and listen to any of that? That he is using a headphone mic, and it sounds crisper than any of our audio qualities, having edited videos from both yours and my perspective.
I mean, to be fair, a large section of that is probably from the fact that because it's a headphone mic, he's like right up next to the microphone, so it's really catching him, and then everything around him is deafened from just the way that his streaming area is.
No, that's what I
Um,
mean. Like bastard probably doesn't need an actual mic.
I know. Well, okay, my mic is not always set ideally for streams because it serves double purpose working with like group recordings or like reacts where two people sitting in slightly different locations working with the same mic. So, you know, if
Yeah.
I had like the one mic that I could just like customize to like me, vocal, audio, exclusive and never have to change the settings, I'm sure it would be much better.
Yeah. Um. What was I gonna say?
Um what were you going to say?
I don't know. I've lost my. Oh, the teas that we have for today.
I was just gonna say we've skipped our slightly semi traditional opening. Do you want to go first or do I want to go first?
Yeah. So I have
Um,
a. I
wait, hold
have a
on,
tea.
hold on. Yeah, Nerfmeister, desolately empty chat. Oh look. Oh yeah, okay. So you tell about your tea first, then I'll tell about my tea.
So I've got a Mamaki lemongrass blend here.
Oh, interesting. We both went slightly herbal. The joke in the stream title is referring to like spiced teas for winter, right? Because this is the time when like chai spiced and like cinnamon spiced teas would be very sort of appropriate, especially with the weather in the Central Valley over the past 3 weeks, which we complained about recently in something.
It is like bone chillingly cold here.
It is bone chillingly cold. It is the coldest section of December that we've had since the 1970s. And we have not seen the sun in 4 weeks. Well, I saw the sun when I left town.
It is actively like warmer to go up the hills and go towards the mountains.
Yeah, it is actually warmer in the mountains right now than it is in the valley. Um, I have a favorite of ours, right? Both of us have had this before. I keep this in regular stock in my house. So it's the summer bouquet tea. And it's raspberry with rose hips. in a caffeine-free blend. You've had this at my house. I keep this, like, I buy this in bulk. It's one of the Greenfield teas that I fell in love with in, like, Russia one summer and then ended up bringing back, and you can buy it here too. So that's what I've got, is raspberry and rose hips, which honestly is a really favorite combination for me. I think I have 3 different teas from different manufacturers that feature a raspberry and rose hip forward blend. Something about that combo is just and then of course I added in a little raw honey, orange blossom honey. I mean, I don't know, Taco. Snickers flavored coffee actually sounds pretty damn good. It's like caramel and nutty and chocolatey. You know what I need to buy myself this Christmas? I need a new big box of my chocolate pu'er tea that I really like. From the Numi brand. Yeah, some more chocolate pu'er, because that stuff is great in the winter. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna be a little bit tired today. I got back from the gym like 30 minutes ago. It'll be an interesting stream.
Speaking of the Christmas lotto, I mean, I'm ready for it. So I did go in today, and I just got I just finished getting the base version of the welfare from the Super Goryaku event. I'm not gonna grind it out and get the copies and stuff, but I did get the servant itself. I didn't have time yesterday to do it. I had all these grand plans yesterday. I was going to spend all day gaming, and I had plans, and, you know, I was going to build 3 farms in Minecraft, and then I was going to AFK them while I played FGO. And then
the Fire Nation attacked.
And then I spent 6 hours with a friend cussing our way through a shulker farm tutorial. 6 hours.
Okay, happens. That's why I prefer to grind the events earlier rather than later, but that's a...
Well, I mean, I didn't really care that much about the event, to be honest. And I don't know the servant I got, so... You know, it is what it is. Oh, Genmaicha is such a good choice. I had Genmaicha last time we did a Tea Time Chat, Nerve Meister, and I love Genmaicha. That's one I keep at home all the time. Oh, man, I've got so many teas. I got so much tea.
I just got more tea. Actually, I got teas for because my family celebrated our holidays early because we'll be out of town on Christmas itself.
Yeah.
So like all of our holiday stuff done. I have something fun I can show people. Yeah, I'll show them right now. But yeah, I got tea from that, and I'm excited to try it, but it's a little too caffeinated for this time of night tea chat.
Yeah, it is so fascinating to me how different we are when it comes to caffeine. Like, I don't think I've gone without caffeine. I don't think I've gone without enough caffeine to kill an elephant in 15 years on a daily basis. And I still have sleeping issues.
If I'm doing like a mug of tea, that's fine. Like, I can do a mug of caffeinated tea, just give myself a little bit of an energy boost for a few hours while I do the stream. An entire one of these bad boys? Hell no.
Chat,
this will keep me up till 5 in the morning.
Chat, he thinks he's making it better. Meanwhile, I go through 8 of these and I still sleep.
You didn't for a long time. I had to tell you those were caffeinated. You found out
I forgot that they were caffeinated
from me. And you were asking for a long time, why can't I sleep? Why can't I sleep?
Well,
why do I have such why do I have such great tolerance to caffeine and it doesn't work on me? Because you were downing like 12 of those in a day, drinking enough caffeine
coffee
to kill an elephant, plus coffee. And you're wondering, like, why can't I sleep? Why does coffee have no effect on me? I wonder why.
I mean, to be fair, I can sleep when I drink soda and coffee, though. Like, if I chug 12 of these, I can still go to sleep if I want to go to sleep. Dakota Doyle. No thoughts on the servant's design, Dakota Doyle, because I didn't look at the servant's design. I clicked through every single time I saw her on screen. I know it's a her. It looked vaguely like Anne Bonny and Mary Read, but I know it's a Japanese servant, and that is as much as I know. At least in color scheme and general shape, it kind of looked a little bit like Anne Bonny and Mary Read.
So I'm not gonna go through every gift I got for Christmas because, like, well, you guys don't care about the suitcase I got, and I got a new mic. That's something that's relevant here. But no,
Was that
what
a
I want to
Christmas
show you guys,
gift?
yeah, it was a Christmas gift.
Oh, which from one of your brothers?
Parents,
Oh.
they know I do the channel. I just don't tell them
Oh
which the channel
yeah.
is
Yeah. Okay.
because
Sorry
they're
for
nosy.
yeah. For
They're too
so
nosy.
long, it had been like that they didn't really know
Yeah, my brother is the one that accidentally spilled the tea on that one.
when.
My parents were asking what I was up to today. My brother was like, "Oh, he's streaming." Oh,
I regrettably, my mother has never had that ability to ignore what we do since 90% of the time she is in another room and listening to it. You know she has thoughts on the format of like some of our videos.
oh, I'm sure the format's terrible. Like, okay, guys, we complain about editor Seki and editor Knickknack, but editor Seki and editor Knickknack are not actually like that intensive editing compared to what you could be doing. This is fairly low effort content. Even I'll admit that.
Editor Seki and editor Knickknack don't do this as a full-time job.
No, this is a hobby.
Yeah.
So the format is not the greatest thing in the world. Like, we're not. There's a reason why our content is podcast and not so much visuals.
I had
Visuals are hard.
I mentioned to one of my friends that I had like edited a podcast video and uploaded it, and he was like, "What do you mean it's not live?" And I'm like, "Dude, it goes up at like noon on weekdays. We have jobs." And he was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, if I've thought
I
about
love
doing
my
it live,
friends.
some of the stuff live, but it would be at very weird and stupid times, and I don't think the viewership would be quite there for it.
Yeah, what, Sunday 4 p.m. guys?
Yeah,
You wanna hang out with us Sunday at 4 p.m. for 45 minutes?
it's like going to mass.
Yeah. Oh.
But the gift I've been building up to, my brother got me these. They're Fate Grand Order
Is
trading
that
cards.
Oh yeah, and it's Cuckoo and Tez on the front, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Are they
Show
official
you what they
ones,
look
or are
like.
they?
Yeah, well, they're not. So they are official. They're not Fate Grand Order. It's not a Fate Grand Order trading card game, but it's a Fate Grand Order collaboration with the trading card game Build, Divide, Right.
Oh, okay.
He got me a box. I got like, and like as you can see, two of the cards here.
Nice.
You see, there's one that was a special.
That's
like,
a
I think
good-looking
I don't.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, let me see if I could find. I have a Resh Altar in here. Oh, here's a fun one. Kamazats.
Oh,
These are
Camazotz.
This deck is entirely Nahui McLawn based.
Oh,
It's got all the
Camazotz.
characters from Nahui McLawn. Here we go, a Resh Altar.
I am feral for Camazotz.
Yeah, anyone else in here that could be kind of fun? Oh, here we go, Nito Altar.
Nito! Oh. We love a good Nito.
Yeah, oh,
It's neat.
I got a Benny Enma Altar.
Benny! Do I
Can't
know?
pull her in the gotcha, so. Yes, you do know Benny Enma alters and updates, but it's kind of a footnote. She's not playable.
Okay. Oh, she's in updates.
Yeah, or
Okay.
she was in an update.
Okay, okay. Sometimes I forget about like some of the random shit you show me in updates. It's just
Well,
too
I can
much.
only. There's so many servants, but
I know. That's why I forget about them. Oh.
one more card I wanted to throw up on screen here. And then I'll put them away because I can't flip through these all day. Here we go. It's right behind that the Resh Altar card. It's like Cuckoo's Noble Phantasm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Very
so these are
nice.
cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I like it. They're cool. They're a cool collector piece.
Yeah. No, that's really cool.
I wish my brother tried to get them, but he couldn't find them because they're out of stock. There's an Avalon LaFay set too, and I'm like, oh, I would have loved that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I guess I could show what you got me for Christmas. Let me go grab that. It's in the other room. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Sorry, chat. I am like very out of it right now.
I'm back. So first of all, it comes in a very nice bag. A
It
nice
was a
one piece.
collaboration bag that my parents happened to pick up, so I just happened to throw her gift in it.
Yep, and then it's actually the Arlong Park Lego set, which I'm actually really excited for. And I can't wait to see which random wanted posters I get from it. Out of the possible random ones.
Tacos, I know some it's been a minute since I looked at it. I know someone on the server has been putting together a Honkai Star Rail doc. I don't know where that's at.
Wasn't
And then
that Frost or Zero?
one of the two, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then
We normally get a chunk from someone who doesn't often join our lives.
Yeah, they're not in the comments that often, and they're not in the lives that often. But both updates we've done so far, they were there posting, and they contributed a fair chunk.
Yeah, I want to say it was. I was like, oh, I think it isn't it. No. God forbid I remember anything. Obviously, I had the brain of a fucking fish. Apparently.
They contribute a fair chunk.
Yeah. And then obviously you do a bunch of the stuff for it.
Yeah. I try to keep track of like the big stuff. The things I don't keep track of tend to be like side things, CEs I don't keep track of.
Yeah.
And every once in a while there's stuff from like auxiliary fate works that I'm gonna miss.
And to a certain extent, there's also sort of like if there's something that you guys really wanted to see me react to that I didn't because it was deemed irrelevant or it just didn't get added, it's a good I think it was Tacos pointed out today in the FGO chat that we forgot the Otakamaru page on the Type Moon.
I just forgot about that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's little things. I will be building the Arlong set on stream, Tacos. Once Christmas break starts for me, I will be building that on stream. And it's probably going to be a long stream, though, given how big of a set it is. But it'll be a lot of fun. I've actually asked for a few sets of Legos for, not just Legos, but like off-brand Lego brands, too, for Christmas. For a couple different reasons. One, because, like, as someone who, two of them are Stargate sets, and as someone who is a Stargate fan, starved for any level of merchandise, off-brand Legos seems appropriate. Given that the other merchandise I have for Stargate is 2 Funko Pops. And that's about it. And it hurts me deep inside. Ooh. I gotta go back to play I'm gonna go back one of these days to play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 when I got a little time.
I sometimes see my dad playing Baldur's Gate 1 on. I think they have a port of either Baldur's Gate 1 or 2 to mobile, and he's often playing it on his iPad or something.
Yeah, I've got them both on Steam. So I do want to go back and play them at some point, especially because I'd like to go back and play Jaheira's original story, which would be super fun.
Speaking of Baldur's Gate, by the way, there's 2 different ways I can segue out of this. We'll go segue into Larry.
I think the most relevant thing here is it's been revealed to all of us that Baldur's Gate was really just crowdfunding for Divinity 4, or what is it, Divinity 3 or Divinity 4? I think it's 3.
Divinity 3.
Yeah, it's 3.
But they're just calling it Divinity. They're not calling it 3. So it's kind of like a soft reboot, I guess.
It's something.
Get new people in.
I have the first 2 games. I have actually played a little bit of them. It's the reactions have been really, really funny because since I have actually experienced a little bit of Divinity, I get why people are being like, oh, so Baldur's Gate is really just crowdfunding for an IP that they actually own and can do what they want with. So
I also see why they're like, yeah, we're not doing this again. Baldur's Gate 3 was very much we love this franchise as kids. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make a game ourselves. What do you mean this company is extremely rough to work with and we have very little creative freedom?
Well, that's also a lot of that is a somewhat recent change. I mean, because Hasbro coming in to buy out Wizards of the Coast and become the parent is you think back to like if you were playing Dungeons and Dragons I think it was like 2015, it wasn't Hasbro. And now it is, and Hasbro is not great. But I'm actually very excited for them to come out with a new Divinity game. I think it's going to be great, and I think it's really funny because a lot of people are gonna get Divinity because they really liked Baldur's Gate 3, and all I can say is I really hope they're prepared for anything. Um, Yeah, but they also didn't want to make Baldur's Gate 4 if they had to work under the same restrictions as Baldur's Gate 3, you know? Like from everything I've heard about the development of Baldur's Gate 3, Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast were just absolute like monstrosities in the process. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like any studio would love to make more Baldur's Gate games if they had the success that Larian had with Baldur's Gate 3, but at what point is the success worth the stress of the creation of the game, you know?
I turned my mic down just now because it was picking you up a little. Am I still coming through all right?
Yeah, you sound the same as before. It wasn't
Okay.
broadcasting me back to me through you, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm seeing it light up from when you speak every once in a while. So,
Yeah, I don't
and I have
think it
headphones.
was.
On, it couldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think it was catching it back the other way through. At least I wasn't hearing it.
But other than that, there was also the announcement of the next Wizards of the Coast, like Dungeons and Dragons game, and we do get Dungeons and Dragons outside of Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate 3 plenty. Now, are they always as good as D&D or as Baldur's Gate 3? No.
Oh, some of them are fun. I have some of the Dungeons and Dragons games. Um I really am not worried about Divinity under Larian Studios.
Larian
I
doesn't seem to be the problem here. They've seen like for Dungeons and Dragons has been overrun by that corporate culture.
yeah.
Larian is like the one thing holding Baldur's Gate 3 back from that.
Yeah, I actually see no issues with Divinity, right? I in fact the bigger issue is going to be the fact that for people who were introduced to Larian through Baldur's Gate 3 and then go on to play Divinity, it is going to be a rude fucking awakening because Larian Studios is like Baldur's Gate 3 is practically G-rated for their games. It's practically G-rated for everyone. Um
Whereas like from what I understand, I didn't actually watch much of the Game Awards. I mostly listened to it, so I listened to the Divinity trailer when they were showing it off. To my understanding, that trailer contains some wild ass shit. So I'm not even worried about them
it did.
cleaning or like sanding off the edges here.
No, in fact, if anything, they'll reverse sand the edges of their story. I'm very excited for it. Also, I'm super excited that Claire Obscura Expedition 33 won. Like, I think that's fantastic. I know it's been amazing, right? I have several friends who have played it and have absolutely loved it. And I have a friend who's bugged me to play it before, and I have access to it through the Steam Family Library. We both do, actually.
Mhm.
And it looks fantastic. And the VA, right, who won the award, that's Shadowheart. It's the same VA.
Yeah, she won.
Um,
She won the VA award last year for Shadowheart as well. Now
yeah,
I'm mad because the other Expedition 33 nomination should have won that. No, I don't know. I haven't played the game. I haven't heard any of their performances. But the other one was Charlie Cox fucking Daredevil. He should have won on the count of being Daredevil.
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't listen to either of their performances.
Um, but yeah, the problem with Expedition 33 for me is nothing against the game itself. I just haven't had time to try a game that didn't necessarily fall into like the alignment of things I traditionally like to play in terms of theme, right? Not even gameplay mechanics. It's just the fact that it's like a very much like darker post-apocalyptic sort of like that sort of thing. It's not really what I'm typically looking for out of my games, and I've got so much backlog of games to play already.
Expedition 33 100% falls into like my like
Yeah.
line of gaming. The problem for me is its time. Expedition 33 is like among the top games in my bucket list.
And you have access to it.
Yeah, I know.
Um
I've been looking at that like longingly as I stare down that and then turn my head to see Fate Hollow Roxia to the side.
I did see the free DLC for Silk Song. I mean, I think that's great. I know Silk Song, like, obviously hit it fucking amazingly big, you know? But I mean, following up off of Hollow Knight, how would you not? Both games are fantastic, you know, reportedly. I've not really played either one.
Played
Um,
one on like I played one on stream, but not on the stream, just while I was sitting on stream.
yeah. But like, you know, I am not necessarily gonna be like, you know, they've announced free DLC, it should be out soon. I know the game took a long time to develop. I know they're putting a lot of effort into it, and they have a relatively small core team. Like, I get it. Um,
Makes sense why they skipped the Game Awards for Manpower then.
yeah.
Because they did skip the Game Awards because they're like, well, we see the writing on the wall. Expedition 33 has been nominated for a billion awards. This is probably going to be a Last of Us 2 kind of sweep at the Game Awards. We're
Yeah.
probably not winning much, if anything at all. Why would we send people from our team and lose the manpower if they're releasing DLC this soon afterwards?
Oh, it's not
They're
gonna be
gonna be
soon.
all hands on deck.
That's the joke here, Nick Nack. It's not gonna be
Oh,
soon. They announced Silk Song as a DLC to Hollow Knight when Hollow Knight launched.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, that's the joke. It's gonna be a decade before we get the Silk Song DLC. Granted,
I will
it'll
say,
be either a really great DLC or another third game, but it's gonna
yeah,
be a decade.
I will say, I have heard some discontent with the Game Awards over the not the Expedition 33 won the Game of the Year award. Actually, that's like the least contentious thing that's happened with
Yeah,
this. It's that the I mentioned that Expedition 33 was nominated. It was nominated for the most awards in Game Awards history,
yeah,
and it won all but one of those
yep,
nominations. So it won the most Game Awards in Game Awards history.
yeah,
Meaning, and like think about the titles that would have been nominated for indie, debut indie,
yeah.
um,
I think the thing
amongst
is,
other categories.
it while I'm really happy that it's getting all this recognition and it won so many categories, it felt a little it felt like they just entered it into every single category that it technically qualified for on the basis that it was a really good game. And like I get it to a certain extent, but also
An event like this, you kind of hope that they spread out the awards just a tiny bit to give other devs, especially that indie award and the indie devs, their flowers.
yeah, because I think that okay, controversial opinion. But I think if your game is nominated for Game of the Year, it shouldn't also qualify in like Indie Game of the Year or like any other category that's specific of the year because it's been nominated for Game of the Year, right? So you should spread out the nominations in the other categories that are for games of the year in a specific category because it's in the running for game of the year, which already puts it like head and shoulders above anything else that doesn't get nominated for game of the year and is in those
Mhm.
categories, right? And I think both Claire Obscura and Silk Song had multiple nominations across categories.
Silksong
Um,
only won one.
but it had a lot of nominations which took up
Yeah.
slots. And it's nothing against those games. It's just it means that the awards felt very much like we were talking about like 5 games that came out for the whole year. And I know there were more than 5 games that came out this year. um, I'm just gonna pull up the Game Awards real quick so I can kind of since we're talking about it, it seems like a valid for one of us to have it up on screen so we can actually up on
Mhm.
stream.
I think the problem is other categories are often used for like, especially for the games nominated for Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
They're often given out as like they can often end up being a consolation prize, like, oh, you didn't win Game of the Year, you won Best Design or you won Best Narrative.
But like for example, I know I'm pretty sure it wasn't Claire Obscura wasn't it opted for both best debut indie game and best independent game?
Yep.
Those you should not be entered in both of those categories. I don't think that you should be entered in both of those categories. You know what I mean? That just seems a little ish.
Too many.
A little unfair to me to other games that debuted that year, especially if then you're also in Game of the Year, and you're in game direction, and you're in narrative, and you're in art, and you're in score and music, and you're in audio, and you're in performance, and you're in impact, and you're in, everything
I
else that it qualifies in.
I said the same thing when I got into a conversation, because I got into a conversation, even an argument, a little with my brother on some of the Game Awards nominations. The VA category, in my opinion, as much jokes aside about Charlie Cox should have won Best Voice Actor, they shouldn't. I think the Game Awards probably should rework that VA category to be a little bit more like the Oscars, where it's like, oh, you have the best leading actor or best supporting actor, because that does help prevent too many that because having three people from the same game for the voice actor award is a bit ridiculous,
It's not
especially
fair.
when it's fine to nominate people from other games into that category, because a lot of these
Yeah.
voice actors are also doing other games. So
Yeah, because I mean, I think I just want to take a look at some of the roundups here. I'm opening up the categories, right? To okay, can I say I have a hot take here? Not about the Game Awards, but about
Mhm.
their fucking website. This is the most unintuitive, hard to navigate, actually horrific way to lay out any information about the Game Awards ever. Respectfully, this is awful. I'm gonna go find a different fucking website. Uh, that was an awful that was an awful experience just trying to get in there. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Jesus. Yeah, I don't. Oh my god. It's just. See. Yeah, I'm just looking at how many things they swept, and I was like, damn, that's wild. You know. That's an insane amount of stuff that you could have stuck other stuff in there. You know, like okay, not to be that person. But I really don't think you should be putting Claire Obscure up against like Blueprints, Despelote, Dispatch, you know. Like the best independent game, at least it's up against Hades 2 and Silk Song. But like in best debut indie game, that was not a fair category.
It is funny to me that the best indie game category contained three Game of the Year winners out of five nominations.
Mhm. Mhm.
No matter what, it's like, oh, if you're the other two nominations that weren't nominated for Game of the Year, well, fuck you
Yeah.
in the early show. Then why even bother showing up? You know it's going to go to one of the indie games nominated for Game of the Year. And when you see Claire Obscure nominated for 10 awards, I think it was.
Yeah. I don't think that you can't have any overlap, Nervemeister, but I think it is unfair to all of the other independent and indie games that came out. Especially when you cross-reference Game of the Year with those two categories and looking at Claire Obscura and then like VA as well, right? Like the that's taking up a significant portion of like indie independent space. So and none of those other things in the category of indie debut were gonna win over Claire Obscura. Claire Obscura was in the running for Game of the Year. Not a single other one of those was nominated for Game of the Year. So none of the others were ever gonna win. If your game is nominated for Game of the Year, I feel like at the very least, if you're a good contender for that, maybe best indie debut is not also a category that you're nominated in. um I mean, and that's not to say that it's because like we've seen other games sweep like a lot of different things at the Game Awards, right? Like I'm pretty sure Larian also took a bunch of awards home for Baldur's Gate.
The closest it's ever come to that level was Last of Us 2, which is hilarious because Last of Us 2 is a heavily controversial game that a
Mm-hmm.
good vocal portion of the internet doesn't like.
Yeah, yeah. It's just interesting. I mean, I was kind of watching. I wasn't necessarily watching, but I was tracking the results for like some of the specific things, right? Um, but I mean, they just like Claire Obscure is also under best role playing game. So yeah, it's all over the place, you know? It's everywhere. Yeah. Wild. Absolutely wild.
I
And
know
that
this is.
that's not to say that a lot that there are some other games that were also nominated multiple times across categories. Like Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Death Stranding 2 and Ghosts of Yote also took a significant portion of nominations across basically every one of the biggest categories.
I'm pretty sure that was the Game of the Year nominations, all of which you just named. You named all of them
Oh,
off, except for DK Bonanza, which won
no, I
Family Game.
missed one. Kingdom Come Deliverance because Ghosts of Yote wasn't up for Game of the Year.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
and
I think
I play Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I play that game. That's the only one here that I play.
the only one on there that I've played like personally is DK's for Game of the
Yeah.
Year.
Yeah, oh man, it's just between those like 6 games. That's what was basically nominated in Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, Best Performance. Best Performance did have that one Troy Baker from Indiana Jones. And then you don't even start getting into other games until you're looking at independent, ongoing, game for impact, debut indie game, and even then, Claire Obscure is in half those categories. You know?
If I can, if I can poke the bear of the Game Awards at one more category, or one thing that I think is, or there's two things I think is fucking busted still, but the one that comes to mind immediately, the best family game every year almost always goes to Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't know why that category exists pretty much just to be the Nintendo consolation prize. Nintendo by all means should be competing on the same field with everyone else, even if they're unlikely to win because they don't have the install base. Well, boo hoo! They've won Game Award before, Game of the Year before. I don't think Family Game should always have like a token Nintendo game just to win it automatically.
Well, and also consider the nominations for that. 2 of them were Nintendo games: Donkey Kong
Yeah,
Bonanza and Mario Kart World.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like it's the Nintendo category, and it's rare something other than Nintendo actually wins that category, and it's kind of bullshit.
yeah.
Especially because the fuck is a family game?
Yeah, because like for example, right, I think when you think family game, right, the traditional definition is a game that you and your family can all play like together on like the same game, right? So it's like a Mario Kart Party or a Smash Brothers, right? But I would make the argument now, when you really think about it, family games are so much more than that with like streaming and crossplay and multiplayer that's available in a lot of games. Like, I love playing like Repo or other games with you guys. Like, there are games that like I don't even have multiplayer on them, but like my mom and I like playing together, right? We just play at the same time, right? Together. I think the definition of family game has evolved since we're no longer limited to can you sit in the same household on the same
Well,
console, you know?
even then, that's not what they're considering here because Donkey Kong Bonanza is a single player game
Is
only.
it?
Yes,
You're
family
kidding.
game is just a nicer way of saying the kids game category.
Oh.
And I
Respect
actually think it devalues, especially once you're getting into Game of the Year outside of even Nintendo. It's why people look at Astrobot and are like, why the fuck did Astrobot win last year? These games should be evaluated for Game of the Year on the same playing field. There's no reason to like oh, that has a cartoon art style. It's a family game. Game of the Year is for our adult big guy, big
re-
boy games with
respectfully
realistic art styles.
Respectfully, I did not even know Donkey Kong Bonanza was not a multiplayer game. I
It's a
actually thought it
single player game.
was, and
It's
I
a phenomenal game. It's like
okay,
got some of the best.
maybe
It's like technically great, but it's not like a co-op game. It's not a
maybe I'm
competitive.
the
It's
odd
all single
one.
player.
Maybe I'm the odd one out here. I just automatically assumed that family game meant games you could play together with your family and ran with that. And I would have, and then my argument was that I would count anything, including even like Baldur's Gate or something, as a family game because I could play Baldur's Gate with my family basically, or my family by choice. So I went the complete opposite way from what that category is apparently.
No,
Whoops.
it's just a nice way of saying these are games for kids. These are games for babies.
Um, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, I think, especially because Mario Kart World was also nominated in sports racing game. Yeah, interesting.
Like these games can be nominated to other categories or even Game of the Year. Why are we creating the best family game when it's not like it's Mario Kart World? I can see being considered a family game. It's a game you could sit on the couch or play with your friends or family online or offline. In my opinion, something like Mario Kart World or even something like It Takes Two, where you're trying to play with like that kind of game. I could see those games being family games. I can't. I don't. It just feels like they're weighing art style more than anything, which just it does contribute to the feeling that the Game Awards has a very specific type of game that get
Yeah.
nominated in that win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this year more than any other, with the prevalence of like those like 5 or 6 games in almost every single category that they could possibly qualify for, and even some that I would make the argument they probably should not have been in. Um it's never been
I
more evident that there is a
I need to go
interesting
to the
thing.
bathroom. I'm sure you can go and talk about Baldur's Gate winning family game of the year would be hilarious.
Look, I'm just saying it's a game that people of all ages can enjoy and you can enjoy playing with your family. I genuinely like I used to do this thing, right, where I still do it sometimes, but like back before multiplayer and crossplay was really like super supported, right? Like, way back when the game like was close, probably like 3 or 4 months out. I mean, multiplayer was available, but crossplay wasn't, so that was kind of the break even. What some of my friends and I did is we started playthroughs together on the same day, and then what we would do is we would only play those particular playthroughs when we all had free time together, right? So we played them like a family game, right? Like we'd be on a Discord call, hanging out together. We're all playing our own individual game, but we're talking and we're chatting and we're having a lot of fun. We're comparing notes. Like it was so much fun. And I don't know. When I think family game, I just think something that you can play together with people, and I think that that definition is no longer limited to needing to be playing on the same console in the same house with like 4 controllers hooked up. Personally, um, I mean, yeah, Dakota Doyle. I don't think that's actually what they did, but it sure feels like it. Nerfmeister, Disco Elysium, probably never. I've actually played so I've never played Disco Elysium myself, but I have a group of my friends that I'm usually on call with Saturday nights, and I think like maybe a year or two, they like streamed their way in our Discord calls through Disco Elysium like bit by bit, and like it's not my thing. It's not my. I sat through it, but it is not my thing. It is so emphatically not my thing. You're muted, just so you know, and you have been, and you're still muted, and you're still muted in Discord. You're muted in Discord.
Oh, that's how I was muted. I unmuted my mic, or I muted my mic and didn't unmute my Discord. That's how it works. That's how it
I
works.
kept saying you were muted, and each time with such confidence you were like, yeah, but no sound was coming through. Jesus.
So Dakota, well, I was saying that I was actually responding to Dakota Doyle. I was trying to. I actually don't think the family game exists because Nintendo bribed them. Because Nintendo, whole like to a hilarious level, does not give two shits about the Game Awards. They do.
Yeah.
They never have a high advertising presence there, and they almost seem to like even if they'll like announce a game or a product like a day later, even or weeks later, or a week later sometimes it's always like, well, why wasn't this at the Game Awards? And I don't think Nintendo gives a shit about the Game Awards at all.
Right.
Which
Respectfully, I have a question that someone who's more familiar with the Game Awards would be able to answer.
mhm.
Um, I'm going back like year by year, right? How long has GTA 6 been winning the most anticipated game of the upcoming year? Okay, it's only been two
God.
years in a row. All right.
But that was something that was
I don't.
hilarious. Like
I.
apparently the audience this year at the Game Awards laughed when it won
Okay.
Game of the Year, or
Okay.
not Game of the Year, most anticipated game.
I have a hot take. I have a hot fucking take. This is coming in steaming, right?
hmm
You are not allowed to win that category more than once.
No, no, I disagree. And you know why?
No.
Because imagine the level of backhanded compliment it is to say you are the 3, 4 time winner of most anticipated game. That's such a backhanded,
No.
like, oh, you've been waiting to come out for how long?
No.
The fuck is wrong with you?
No.
I think it's hilarious.
Also, just so you know, Clair Obscura actually had 13 nominations, not 10, and 9 wins. That's ridiculous. You should not have double-digit nominations in a Game Awards. It's all well and good to get like game of the year and maybe like game direction or narrative or like score and audio, but like at a certain point, stop.
It's like, surely not all of your parts beat out every single one of these, even if you were the best game on average.
I'm so irritated at that because I really truly feel that Witcher 4 should have been the opt in that one this year, given that we actually know that it's going to be coming out at some point.
GTA 6 has footage revealed of the gameplay.
GTA 6 has been around for as long as Elder Scrolls 6 has, hasn't it? Haven't they been anticipated for the same amount of...
But it's also a game that we know is coming out imminently. Witcher 4 very well could hit GTA 6 levels, given that studio's track record in the past. Look at how long Cyberpunk's development cycle was.
That's true, but we do have early gameplay. I think right now they're estimating late 2026 or 2027. And I actually wouldn't be surprised by that. If anything, I'm more pissed off by the Witcher 1 remake that was announced 5 years ago and we haven't heard anything about since.
I would be heavily surprised to see Witcher 4 late 2026, but that's because I have no faith in that studio's timeliness.
I think that's the optimists. I think a more realistic timeline is 2027.
Whereas GTA 6 is probably coming out within that same time frame because we're actually pretty decently far along in the marketing and the social media PR about it.
They actually have a release date. Huh. Interesting.
Will they keep it?
November 2026. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out by the next Game Awards then. And
on that note, yeah.
Yeah, Tacos is on the same banner. 2027 is the soonest estimate I could see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay.
That studio is known for like delayed projects after Cyberpunk. So.
Where the fuck is that Witcher 1 remake at? Respectfully. I'm gonna fight someone over this. Fight someone over this. Still pissed off at that. Yeah. But yeah, no, no, if you and your family stumble into raunchy bear shenanigans, a family that deals with the Halsin, stays together. I don't know. I don't know.
You just gotta believe Kingdom Hearts 4, everyone. Look, Kingdom Hearts fans can't cry too much. Kingdom Hearts 4's dev time is not, like, the wait for it's not going to be as bad as Kingdom Hearts 3. It can't be. It physically cannot be.
Yeah. Wild. I don't know. I don't really follow Game Awards and stuff like that, but, anytime I hear shit about it, I'm just like, wow, that really tracks, Not always in a good way. Sometimes in a good way, but not always in a good way.
Look, the best part of the Game Awards is consistently the Muppets.
I don't know what that means, and I'm happy I don't know what that means.
Every year they have a guest appearance by the Muppets who do a few bits.
I'm perfectly fine not knowing about this. I'm not a Muppets person.
Yeah, because you have no soul.
Guilty as charged. I am not a Muppets person, and I don't think I ever will be.
Fair enough, Dakota Doyle. He is responsible for the dumpster fire that was Final Fantasy Versus 13 and eventually 15.
I don't... Speaking of games, Elder Scrolls 6.
That was announced longer ago than it was when Elder Scrolls 5 was, for when Elder Scrolls 6 was announced.
I know. I firmly believe that they're not going to make an Elder Scrolls 6. I actually don't believe we're going to get an Elder Scrolls 6. You know?
I mean, I believe we'll get it at this point, but
I
also,
don't. I've lost faith.
nah, you don't have experience with like stupid game dev cycles. You don't
No.
like you so yeah. Having followed Squeenix dev cycles, having followed every other dev cycles, having heard about Starfield for as long as we did before it released, and that was Bethesda. Unfortunately, these big, giant, hype games, you know what these devs like to do? They announce them when they first gain the budget
Think of
to
them.
start actually making it in
Yeah.
active production. And that just leads to, oh, so this game's not coming out in this console generation. You just wanted a big news story.
Yeah, but Elder Scrolls 6 didn't come out in the PlayStation 4 generation. It's not going to come out in the PlayStation 5 generation. And after 5, consoles are going to be dying. As we discussed last tea time. I don't know. I'm just so wild. I believe
I
chat.
actually think
Oh, go for it.
I actually do think Elder Scrolls 6 could come out in the PlayStation 5 generation, partially because PlayStation 5 generation is probably going to last a long time. As much as these console devs want to
Yeah.
start a new generation sooner, stuff like the RAM shortages, as well as just the general state of the economy, that kind of stuff's known for extending out console generations. There's a reason why the Wii 360 and PS3 generation was so long. It's because those were the recession consoles.
Yeah. To good or no, they don't need to remake Elder Scrolls 3. That's Morrowind, right? That's perfectly playable. There's no issues with Morrowind.
Yeah, I could see them remaking 3. They remade 4,
I
so I could
know.
see them remaking 3.
But as someone who recently tried to play Morrowind, they don't need to remaster that. Uh, respectfully. The
Tacos, what
day.
money am I going to pay for their all digital PS6 next gen console with AI? AI is going to be taking my job. What money am I paying for this with? Am I
Yeah.
selling my kitty?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I believe chat wants to hear you start talking about Star Wars, as usually happens at some point in these.
Star Wars.
Photor.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I actually don't have as much to say about it as you'd think. I did immerse myself in the KOTOR lore, but I've never played KOTOR beginning to end. I've started it. I've started playthroughs. I just never got very far because the gameplay didn't click with me back then. And you know why it didn't click with me is because I was playing on a fucking iPad. And I just haven't given it a try on
Why were you
an
playing
actual
it on a
console or a
fucking
computer.
iPad?
It's because it was the only thing I owned that it was on. KOTOR was not ported to modern consoles until relatively recently, and on PC, you know how recently I got a gaming PC that could actually handle games.
That's true. That's true. You ever just let your honey solidify?
No,
Yeah. It's
but
not
yeah,
weird.
but yeah, I'm excited to give FOTOR a try. I kind of hope they may, especially given how well Baldur's Gate 3 did. I hope they retain the kind of tabletop roots that the original KOTOR, because the original KOTOR system was very different from other RPGs because it was playing much more into tabletop systems, inspired, I think, directly by the Star Wars tabletop game at the time. So I do hope they maintain that kind of inspiration instead of going and making it just an action RPG like they're probably tempted to, or even just a generic turn-based RPG. I do hope they take inspiration from Baldur's Gate success with FOTOR.
I mean, respectfully, if Vorn accidentally manifested this, look out for an upcoming Vorn Witcher 3 stream, and Vorn's Elder Scrolls stream. I will turn his powers to suit me if this is what caused it.
Takos, I hold out hope because when you play the original KOTOR, you have the option to turn off the turn-based systems, I'm pretty sure. So the combat's just like kind of actively flowing and you have to be reactive. And that's kind of considered an action RPG, depending on who's defining action RPG. So I'm hoping it's closer to that where you can turn on either the real world free so it plays more like a turn-based, or you could turn it off. Because that is something that games like that can do. I'm pretty sure, doesn't Baldur's Gate 3 have that option too?
I don't think Baldur's Gate 3 allows you to turn off turn order when you're in actual combat. It's the area-based turn orders that sometimes get triggered that you can turn on and off. So
Hmm.
Baldur's Gate 3 allows you to turn turn-based movement on at any time, even when it's not being used. But during combat, you have to use turn-based combat. You can't kick yourself out of it. Um, However, sometimes you get like environmental rounds, like you're trying to like disable a trap and someone else is moving, and they'll do like you can like trigger turn order to give yourself like a better chance at like triggering the trap and then getting out of the way. As Vorn and I demonstrated quite incompetently Friday, while we consistently blew ourselves up for like a solid 10 minutes in the Underdark. uh, so that's definitely up. I hate to say it, but I'm actually kind of excited for Hogwarts Legacy 2.
Is there much coming out about that? I know they said they were going to do it, but I haven't heard much about it. And something
I'm
happened recently that's making me nervous about it.
yeah. I'm excited about it because I liked Hogwarts Legacy. You know what I mean? And I in a way I could see the same studio doing a pretty good job making a sequel game, but also, you know, you know. Yeah.
I mean, even
I think
separating
the issue I have with it is what they've announced about the sequel,
hmm.
because I originally assumed, so when they announced they wanted to make a sequel, I thought that they were going to make a sequel to the game that we played, right? And then I kind of went off on the deep end and I was doing math and calculations and like calculating by year and when Dumbledore went to Hogwarts and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, okay, they do still have like a 5 year period before they get into like people like Dumbledore attending Hogwarts, right? Like, because of the setting. So they actually have like time space to make a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. Um, but I'm significantly more worried about it now.
Are they doing a direct sequel where it's the same?
Nope. It's supposed to be connected to the reboot TV series. And I don't want that. I don't want that. I explicitly don't want that.
See, the reason why I'm particularly worried about it is because a certain something happened recently. The Netflix buyout of Warner.
Yep. Yeah.
Warner Brothers developed Hogwarts Legacy in
Yep.
an in-house game development studio, and buyouts don't always go the best for smaller parts of the purchase company. And Netflix has openly stated that they didn't even like consider the gaming IP stuff that they were buying from Warner. That was not a
Yeah.
factor in their negotiations at all. And Netflix has kind of already tried and failed at the gaming market. They haven't really given too much of a shit about it lately.
Yeah. And I mean, Harry Potter games have a very interesting legacy and history in the world of gaming.
My worry is that Warner Brothers game dev studio is going to get LucasArts. LucasArts was the Lucasfilm game dev studio, like in-house game dev studio that was active until Disney bought out Lucasfilm. When Disney bought out Lucasfilm, they more or less dissolved LucasArts and just started outsourcing game development. My
Yeah,
worry is that Netflix is going to, in order to save own internal costs, dissolve Warner's internal studio, which means Hogwarts Legacy 2 could be, if it doesn't come out before that gets dissolved or if it's not far enough along, could be scrapped and they'd have to ship it
yeah,
out.
but this is not Avalanche's first time around that exact fucking pony. Because Avalanche was originally owned by Walt Disney and closed by them. So Avalanche was Walt Disney's game studio, primarily starting in 2005. and they closed it in 2016, and then Warner Brothers bought the name and reopened it a year later. So Avalanche has gone through this before.
But what
Um,
but what happens to the project though? Like Avalanche
yeah,
might make it out of this by being rebought out by another company. Because sometimes you have charitable studios like, oh, you don't need the studio and you're selling it. We'll literally buy the studio and the team, and it's great
yeah,
when that happens. Nintendo did that recently to a Namco team that was being shut down. But say if that does happen to Avalanche in this buyout, um, Harry Potter Legacy 2 or Harry Potter
yeah.
Legacy
Different
would
people.
be just wiped. This
Well,
happened with
yeah,
multiple
because
Star Wars games with the Disney buyout of Lucasfilm. So
yeah, because when
it's
Avalanche
definitely
was
that.
bought by Warner Brothers, they didn't have the same team because most of the team went on to be hired by Castar, and other places, you know. So yeah, I wish that Hogwarts Legacy 2 was going to be what I thought it was originally going to be, but it's not, and as a result, I will probably not be purchasing a copy. Yeah. Dakota Doyle, that is the operative question. Every single one of us that still has nostalgia left for Harry Potter and is willing to let that nostalgia inspire us into still trusting new people coming in and making content goes, why don't you go out into the world? Why don't you talk about these other things? Why don't we move away from what Rowling created, right? And move into the space of something where you can be completely creative because she has not done anything to it. And the answer is always no.
Well, I can tell you why.
We all know why. But the
The
answer is
same reason
always no.
the same reason why Rowling is so involved with the TV reboot and why Rowling was involved with the original
Yeah.
movies even.
Yeah.
And it is kind of commendable for an author. It's just Rowling is the person involved
Yeah.
this time. Is very hands-on with the IP that she's putting out for the adaptation. So when you have parts of the world that haven't really been explored yet, is someone like Rowling ever going to let them really go out and explore it? Well, something like Hogwarts Legacy is relatively easy, so long as it's not falling out of line with what she's set up or the world she's created beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I don't really buy a whole lot of Harry Potter stuff anymore. I only buy the stuff that childhood me wanted and couldn't afford when I was a child.
It's it's not a great time to be a Harry Potter fan. I think
It hasn't been a good
everyone.
time to be a Harry Potter fan for 15 years!
I don't know. Things were looking all right when first Fantastic Beasts came out. They're looking moderately okay.
What about Castleborough? What about Wagadu? What about Durmstrang? What about Mahotokoro? What about... I've actually forgotten the name of one of the others. But also, there are other issues with like the other schools in Harry Potter that are, the issues are baked into their creation based on the fact that the person who created them had evidently no concept of population or geography at
Yeah, it always
all.
confused me why she did that. Because
Like
she created these
one
school.
one school, Mahotokoro, serves all of Asia?
It would have been easier
Oh!
to just define a school that was in Asia and say this school sees students come from these different places, but they like there could be more than one wizarding. Why is there only one wizarding
Why
school
is
in
all
this
of
area?
Africa one wizarding school? Why is the... Oh, Knick-Knack, you want a better one? Why is the only wizarding school in South America have a Spanish name?
Look, there are some really fucked up jokes I could be making about either of those situations, but I'm gonna hold my tongue a little bit here.
And yet, there's Durmstrang, Beauxbatons, Hogwarts, and there's a Russian school that she named. There's 4 schools in Europe named. 4 for Europe.
You say that,
Koldovstedets.
tacos, but I'm actually pretty
Koldovstedets.
sure that's the exact reason, is because it was made by a
Yeah,
British person with a very British perspective on the world.
yeah. Koldovstedets was the name of the Russian school.
Say everything you want about Rowling. but you can't say she's not British.
And, like, presumably, let's keep in mind that Mahotokoro serves all of Asia. And by all of Asia, I don't just mean Southeast Asia and East Asia. I mean from fucking Jordan over. I can't.
What the Spanish name in school in South Africa or South America does imply, though, is it implies that there was not a magic school before the white people came over, not to the same legacy and history as Hogwarts, or was destroyed when the Spanish came over.
Yeah,
So,
fun
like,
fact,
which direction are we going with that here, Rowling?
Yeah, fun fact. You remember Ilvermorny in the US? Started by a descendant of the Gaunts. Uh-huh. 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 There are implications here.
What'd you say, Seki?
There are implications here.
See, I like Nasu's approach where
Sorry.
I like Nasu's approach where Magecraft was just completely different because the cultures were completely different across the globe.
Yeah, not even just India tacos, but Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan.
See,
all of them.
The FGO writers in Nasu's problems kind of different than Rowling's, because Rowling tries to like broad sweep stuff she has no understanding of. Nasu and the FGO's writers' problems are they'll do stuff here and there and they fuck up because they don't know know things that well. But they try they avoid touching it maybe a little too much.
Yeah. No tacos. Central Asia doesn't have its own school. You know who else is, I think, lumped in to Mahotokoro? Oceania. Half of the globe goes to one school. And then there's 4 in Europe. So about that Photor.
Look, one, it inevitably comes out. There's been some like talk that this is one of those, oh yeah, this game was announced way too early kind of game. So this could be like a 2030 game for all I fucking know. But when it eventually comes out with the PS10, I'll be excited to give it a shot. But also, like, it's not like I also take things in stride though, because like with Star
but
Wars,
keep in mind your PS10 is going to be Sword Art Online.
Yeah. Hey. But with Star Wars, I can't take things too hype because like, oh cool, they're making this movie. Oh wait, no, they're not. This movie just disappeared off the face of the earth for 5 years. Oh what, they're remaking KOTOR? Oh what, we haven't heard about the KOTOR remake at all in 3 to 4 years, and they've completely they've started remake on a sequel instead. So, I don't take Star Wars development of anything except for like books very seriously because like it'll happen when and if it happens.
Oh. I'm just
My understanding, if we brought up the RAM short, or I brought up the RAM shortage a while back. I'm pretty sure I don't know the details on this one too deeply. I'm pretty sure Sony either scaled like dramatically scaled back its consumer RAM production.
Yeah, I heard. Just so other people can get a kind of look at this. Let me just do something real quick so everyone's got a perspective. I need my snipping tool. I'm gonna ignore that my snipping tool is covering my screen for a second. All right, y'all. Actually, you know what? I don't need a snipping tool for this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Y'all are gonna see my webpage for a second. This. This is the. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in. This is the map of where schools exist in the world for magic.
We're continuing this crash out. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Knick Knack, look at this! Look at this, Knick Knack! Look at this bullshit! Oh my fucking god, there's... You got Ilvermorny, Castelabrujo, Wagadoo, Beauxbatons, Hogwarts, Durmstrang. The one that is not pictured here is that there's one extra school in Russia somewhere around here called Kultovstrets, right? That one doesn't actually have a location. And then Mahotokoro, which serves all of this and that. I am crashing out over this. I've had this crash out before. It is... Oh my fucking god. Okay. Right. That would be so cool. Dakota Doyle. And Takos is right. It's called the Atlas Academy. Because at least someone made it. Anyways. I haven't really decided what I'm doing Wednesday on FGO. I think I'm literally just grinding out free quests and stuff. I think that's my plan for Wednesdays. We're just gonna sit. We're just gonna spend 3 or 4 hours together grinding out free quests.
I was gonna say,
ups.
because like we're between events and the next event doesn't start till Thursday morning.
Yeah. You would think tacos, but no. Maybe Hawaii. Hawaii might be covered.
Of course, knowing Rowling would just say Hawaiian students just go to Ilvermorny.
Yeah. You know.
It's all the United States, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Which then brings up the question, does Ilvermorny serve all of North America, or does it only serve the United States, right? What about Canada? What about Mexico? What about Panama? What about El Salvador? What about Honduras? You know, Tacos, I think the answer to that is Mahotokoro. You've heard this crash out before. I'm so sorry.
Yes, that's why I went to the bathroom.
Yeah. I would assume that Cuba and the Caribbean are covered by Castelabrujo. Since it's explicitly mentioned in Castelabrujo that one of the types of magic that protects it is connected to capoeira, and capoeira was something brought over and created in South and Central America by enslaved populations. Which is not great. We're just gonna gloss over that. Imagine a Chinese magic student getting their fucking Mahotokoro acceptance letter, and they come from Nanking, only to be told that they then have to go to school in Minami Iwo
Yeah.
Yep. So Castelabrujo is supposedly specifically the Brazilian school, but it accepts students from all over South and Central America. Or Korean, yeah. I mean, we could do some of the FGO how long is the FGO Part 2 prologue?
Very short. It's like, it's not that long at all. If anything,
if I clear prologue, I also open up a GSSR, right?
Yes.
I might do that then on Wednesday, just to clear the prologue, so I can start the year with Anna.
Yeah, you should be able to clear it in one stream. I'm pretty sure it's shorter than Christmas.
Yeah, Nerfmeister, I know that my beloved memories are tainted. I know that. This is why if I ever want to consume Harry Potter media these days, it's almost exclusively on AO3. Because other people can write it better and less horribly. And honestly, 99% of what I consume is so, like, AUOOC that it's really just using the names for faces. At this point, it's practically original fiction. You know? Like it's just like they're, and I understand, right, that I understand the offense and the hurt that it causes some people, right? But like it's hard for some of us who grew up with it like all through our childhoods as something that was like intrinsically a part of our joy and our holidays. It's like one of my sisters doesn't visit very often, right? I see her maybe twice a year. One of the times I saw her every single year was for the new Harry Potter movie coming out, right? I watched them at every holiday when they were playing on TV. We had copies of all the movies. I was so excited to go to the parks growing. I only got to go to the Harry Potter park in Florida once, and it was before everything with Rowling came out. And it was before they made the extension. And I've been down to the one here in California only like twice. You know? Like twice. It's like I grew up with this. Like, those are bedtime stories. I liked reading this. They were comfort books.
I think Harry Potter's in a very unique space. It's like if you think about like the big giant modern franchises, not a lot of them have like it's probably the first time we've really had like a franchise this big see the original creators still be alive and come under this level of controversy. Like think about your Star Wars is George Lucas is considered a swell guy you can find eating Sparrow pizza in your local mall and people don't really have any problems with him. People don't have these problems with like with something like Lord of the Rings with Tolkien because even if Tolkien did have, I don't know what his views were on a lot of stuff. If he did have problematic views, the man's dead and not making a dime off this, and his
Yeah.
family has nothing to do with what may or may not ever come out about him.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is in a very unique spot. You know? I remember like going to see the movies. Like I remember one time, I think it was movie like number 5 or movie number I think it was movie number 5 came out. 5 or 6 came out when I was like in Russia with my family, and I like bugged my mom to go take me to see it in Russian. I understood like a third of that movie, but it still counted because I didn't want to wait till I got back. We literally went and bought the 7th book in Russia because we were there when it released, you know? Like we had 3 copies of all the books in the house growing up because we had like the hardcover version, the paperback version. Half our versions were British, half were American. We even had a Canadian version or 2. You know? Yeah. Yeah, that's just it's shitty. It's so shitty. George R. R. Martin will do anything to avoid finishing that book. Those 2 books. It's 2. It's 2 books, not 1. It's 2. And technically, it's 3 because Fire and Blood, the basis for the TV show about the Targaryens, was supposed to be a duology, and he never wrote the 2nd book. And now he's starting a new series.
You know, if George R. R. Martin ever pulled a fucking Rowling, I'd almost think that George R. R. Martin wasn't actually a terrible person. He was doing it intentionally so that no one wanted the last books.
Yeah. Just, I was like, he's coming out with another new spin-off of Game of Thrones. He hasn't finished the original series. He hasn't finished the first spin-off.
I also love that he keeps working with the crews of HBO to do adaptations very heavily, and every time he falls out due to adaptational differences with them. Like he did it for Game of Thrones. He recently did it with House of the Dragon. Do I think he's going to survive the production of multiple seasons of Dunk and Egg or whatever it is?
Yeah.
I don't. I think I'm like just
this man.
If you really don't give a shit about these adaptations, just go finish your books.
Dakota Doyle, the thing is, I've never read the books, right? And I very deliberately have never read the books. My mother will crash out over this because she, one time, she bought the books, right? Spent her entire summer reading through them because she thought that it was finished. She has never forgiven him for that. I don't forgive him for that because I had to hear about it. And then, like, you know, we had a mutual friend who was really into the series. And like she kept, and they bugged us a lot of times to watch the series, and we did, like both of us did eventually, and like it was fine. Once you get past all the sex in the first season, it really mellows out into this really nice sort of political drama until you hit like season 5, and then shit started going sideways. And then you had seasons 6, 7, and 8, of which 8 is obviously the worst. I mean, I could maybe excuse 6 and 7. I cannot excuse the mess that was 8. Okay, if that was his intended ending, then he still needs to publish the damn thing. Like, oh my fucking god. Like, you know what the funniest part is? I read this book series by an author named Elizabeth Hayden when I was in elementary school, right? I think it was in 6th grade, 6th or 7th grade. And it was 2 trilogies and like an extra book out, right? And I thought it was just a trilogy and a quad. And I read these 7 books, and then I found out that they were unfinished and that she hadn't published a book in like 8 years, right? And this was back when I was in like middle school. Well, guess what? I went back looking when I was in college, and it turns out in like 2017 she got, she kicked herself back into shape and finished the original series, wrote a final sequel trilogy, and finished it all. So it can be done! It can be done. I know it can be. I've seen it happen. I'm so upset
Look,
about
I think
it.
it's probably just like with authors doing this, it's probably just an issue where you just lose steam.
And to a certain extent, I get that, but he had so much time to finish those books, and I think I wouldn't be so mad because, like, Elizabeth Hayden, right? She didn't string us along telling us, "Oh, the books were going to be coming out. All the books were going to be coming out," right? She just stopped talking about it. She moved on, right? And when she eventually came back to finish it, she just announced that she was finishing it and published all the books, right? Like, I think it was like 1 a year for 3 years, and got them all out, got it done, right? She wasn't stringing us along, producing TV series, writing prequels and not finishing them, writing sequels and not finishing them, writing other works in the universe and maybe finishing them, etc. George R. R. Martin has been edging us for over a decade now. I think 2011 was when the last book came out. It's been 14 years, right? 14 years since we got the 5th book in the series. And every year, oh, I'm almost done. Oh, here's the script, showing off a pile of paper. Oh, it's almost ready. Oh, I'm like 3/4 of the way done. Oh, I'm 70% done. Oh, I'm so excited. Both, like, the first book is written, but I'm writing them together as one book, and then we're going to split them for publication. Just die. Then let someone else take your notes and finish. Just die. Someone else will finish it for you, I promise.
I do not condone or endorse Seki's wish of death onto George R. R. Martin, by the way.
I don't actually mean that he should die. I just mean that whenever he eventually does, someone will finish the series for us, and it will be very relieving. Almost like a last gift.
I do have a level of sympathy for Martin, because when he was writing these books, it's different after. Like, he has to keep stringing us along. He doesn't have a choice otherwise. What do you think happens if he just admits Winds of Winter is never coming out, or fuck Dream of Spring? That's never going to be, even if Winds of Winter finishes. He comes out and says that, the entire media franchise that HBO has set up and built crumbles, especially given the bad reception of the series' ending. And I'm pretty sure someone would put a hit out on Martin if he did that. And
yeah, but I mean, look at what Stranger Things did. They just waited for years.
I don't know why Stranger Things waited, to be honest. I
know it's unreasonable. It's frustrating, right? And I think it's made even more frustrating by the fact that he never finished the Fire and Blood duology. Because, okay, you announced a dual, 2 books, just 2 books. You published the first one, it got opted for a TV show, and then you didn't write the second book.
So my thought
Stop
with the
opting for TV shows.
my thought with the duology. Well, I think the duology as a duology was doomed long before the TV show came out, to be honest. But my thought with the duology is I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that was his attempt to re immerse himself in that world, to remotivate himself to write. Because that's my guess. Because I can see where like he's not as sure what he's doing with the story.
Respectfully,
So
he
he
literally
doesn't.
announced that he was going to release Fire and Blood after completing Winds of Winter. He actually announced that that's when he wanted to release it.
Yeah. And then the motivation just became like his motivational book, his motivational let me get into writing this like ended up just being his primary focus after a minute because it's easier to write.
I I just it's but like I don't know. I feel like he's deliberately ignoring how frustrating this is for us, the readers. You know what I mean? Like it feels like he's just shitting on us deliberately at this point.
I
Cuz like just
I have a feeling it's as frustrating for him as it is the viewers.
then he needs to talk about. I've never advocated someone trauma dumping on us more, but I need this man to trauma dump on us. I need to hear about his therapy journey. I need to hear about the struggle that he's had and the disappointment and all the problems with the TV show finishing first. I want to hear about it then. I just want something that isn't him stringing us along like puppets on a string. I know. I know I'm getting very irritated about this. Oh, if he released the final book and it's a cliffhanger, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad. Because that's what Paolini did.
Look, sometimes you want to leave a very open-ended note for your story. I get it.
No, this is literally what Christopher Paolini did with Eldest, remember? Or not Eldest, Aragon, Eldest, Brazinger.
Inheritance.
Inheritance, thank you. That's what he did with Inheritance. He said it was going to be a trilogy, didn't end up ending in a trilogy, got to Inheritance, and he left us with a cliffhanger. That's
And
fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's actually where you probably want to leave most books, unless you're like truly done writing in that world. You probably want to leave most books you're writing
Yeah.
off on something like that, because if you leave it off on something that's open-ended like that, you can return to it.
And now Paolini is back. He released Murtaugh. He's planning to write more.
Yeah,
He's
and
grown
he's a
as an
better author
author.
now than he used to be.
Yeah. Not that he was terrible before, but it was very obvious that he was very young. You
Yeah.
know.
So I like that's probably would have saved Martin a lot of heartache if every one of the Game of Thrones books could have generally functioned as an ending, even if it was a tragic one,
Yeah. Yeah,
or the Lost of Ice and Fire books.
yeah. Well, the Aragon movie sucked. We all remember that. Hopefully the TV series will be better. But, you know, the Percy Jackson movie sucked and the TV series was better, so the Aragon movie was tragic. Not as tragic as The Golden Compass. The Golden Compass was truly, I think, the worst adaptation I've ever watched of a book into a movie. Yeah.
At least the Aragon movie managed to translate the coolness of the concept to the readers' mind. It just didn't translate anything else.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's 8. My alarm went off.
I am relishing in being between everything right now because I know this Thursday we've got the drop of the Christmas event, and I'm probably going to need to grind that out pretty hard in NA. And Saturday morning I've got the finale of FGO, and like, hey, I want to play that finale, but fuck, is it the wrong time for that for me?
That's fair. I mean, I arguably, in comparison to you, I'm in a pretty good spot because I'm ahead of where I want to be in FGO. And I'm coming up on a break extended enough that I'll have enough time to stream some other stuff, you know? Um, so I'm in a pretty good place. Dakota Doll, I think that would depend on what they were doing in terms of rewriting. Because, like, for example, right, I think a very good example of this that's been controversial recently is what Leigh Bardugo did with her Six of Crows re-release. So I don't know if you remember Six of Crows coming out, Knick Knack, and the TV show The Shadow and Bone, like Grishaverse and stuff. It was all over everywhere for like a couple of years, and then it kind of faded pretty fast, right? And okay, I'll clarify that in a second then. But Leigh Bardugo recently released like a new version of Six of Crows, and in it she adjusted like the characters' ages and some other stuff, right? And a lot of fans were really upset about it, and some fans were like, "I didn't even notice," you know. Nothing major in like terms of like writing revisions, but like just adjusting like some things here and there. And her reasoning behind it was like, well, this is kind of how I'd rather have it be perceived. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Going back and rewriting their older book in their current writing style, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it for a published author. And hear me out here, right? Because I see people do this on AO3, right? Like fan fiction authors do this quite regularly, actually. Like they publish something when they're young, and then they come back like years later and they're like, I would like to like rewrite this, right? Like make it better quality and stuff like that. And for fan fiction, I think that's a valuable part of the writing process. And a lot of the time, what they do is they leave up the original work, right? And then they just publish like a new and updated version, right? But I think for a published author, it's not worth it, right? Because you're like the books you wrote, people already bought, people read, people either liked or didn't like, right? You going back and rewriting those books is only really going to appeal to your fans primarily, right? Like the people who didn't like it because of the way you wrote when you were younger aren't necessarily going to go back in droves and buy your book again just because you rewrote it, right? Because they have no guarantee as towards the quality of your new writing style, or even if they're still interested in that book or even interested in that writing style anymore, per se. It's really only something that appeals primarily to like hardcore fans. Do you know what I mean? Like I would go and buy a rewrite of like say Aragon Book 1 by Paolini if he wanted to rewrite it just because I want to experience it. I loved those books as a child. But I also think that there's sort of an element of like it feels more impactful to leave it and to just let authors see how you've evolved, right? Because even Paolini between books 1 and 4 like evolved greatly as a writer, right? And then he took some time off from the Inheritance cycle and he did that sci-fi thing that like got a bunch of awards and was really popular, and now he's back and you can really tell the difference in his writing. And it's nice, to be honest. Like it's very enjoyable, right? But I don't, you know, I don't think an author going back and just rewriting their own books and publishing them for the purpose of just putting out like a new, yeah, Dakota Doyle. That's pretty much it. I think full rewrites are really just more collector hardcore fan releases.
So, what do you think about the fact that Nasu is pretty much doing that right now with the Tsukuhime remake?
Yeah, but Tsukuhime is a video game, right?
It's a visual novel.
It's a visual novel. That's different.
What makes that? Because this is actually getting into a pretty apt topic of like,
Yeah.
what is the point of remakes across any medium? Really, like what makes that okay, but not so? Because I think I kind of agree with you on books because it would be weird on a book.
Right.
But what about
because
like we do
on a
remakes for
paper
everything
book,
else?
right? On a paper book, your only reason for rewriting your own book in a book that was published in paper is your own vanity. An author's only reason to rewrite a book that is published and has made them money is your vanity. Your vanity and your desire to cater to your fans. Now, with a visual novel, right, or any sort of game, like something that you buy on a game store and is played on technology, rewrites and remakes are necessary to keep porting it forward, right? So like new ports coming forward. And if a game dev or game author wants to take the opportunity during a rewrite to also revamp and update the story to produce a brand new product for the end consumer, essentially, either in, because it's going to be new in both like the way it looks and the way it reads and writes, right? Like, remember, I played the the first Atelier game as the remake, right? I've seen the original. I played it as the remake. The story does not change, right? But the way that you experience it changes. I played the Witcher remakes. The story does not change, but my experience with it is better because the graphics are better. The, other things are better. Things are streamlined. Controls are bound better for the new medium in which people are hoping to experience it, right? There's hopefully going to be a Witcher 1 remake, and when the Witcher 1 remake comes out, I'm going to very excitedly buy it because I played the original Witcher, and it was a little painful because it was old and it was clunky, and I would like to experience that in the most streamlined way I can, right? Whereas a paper book is always going to be a paper book. Like, this, rewriting this is for your vanity. This is forever. I have this book. Yeah, you reprinting it with different words inside of it does not change the quality of the book that I own. It's your vanity that's republishing it with new words. Or your desire to appeal to hardcore fans. Unlike a game. And I think that is an opinion I hold unique to digital media because the technology and digital age moves so fast. This is why I'm willing to spend $50 to get tickets to see Lord of the Rings in theaters with remastered sound in D-Box 25 years after the movies came out, Knick-Knack. It's not a new product! But once again, it doesn't appeal to new people coming in. It appeals to hardcore fans. It appeals to people who enjoy it. So I don't actually have a problem with a remake or even a rewrite of a visual novel. I don't. Actually, I think that's good that Nasu's rewriting a visual novel, right? I think with the technology available to him and retrospective on the story, right, and everything else he's done since then, it's going to be an incredibly good product compared to the original. I think there's going to be value for money in that new product. I don't think a rewrite of Aragon Book 1 would really be value for money. I love the story as it is. Rewriting it is not going to make me love it more. It's not going to make me love it less. It's that simple. Because a rewrite of, like... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to grill you on that just a bit, because for me it was...
No, that makes sense.
It's interesting, because like what you're saying is like just logic. Like, why would you redo the exact same book you released before? Mm-hmm. But then we think about video games and movies, and we do remakes of that stuff all the time. And then like you move sort of that, especially that very big in between the full video game medium and books. You've got stuff like visual novels, or even to an extent like comics and manga. Like,
yeah.
What would you feel like if a comic or a manga decided they wanted to redraw the art and decide, oh, I may as well touch up the script as well?
I think we have an example of that already, One Piece. I think that if you are going, like, so we're getting a new One Piece, right? A new anime, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're not talking about manga. We're not getting a new One Piece manga. But we're getting a new One Piece anime, right? And it's going to shorten, abbreviate, condense, and communicate the story in a much more effective manner without changing any major plot points. You know? Perfect. Okay, it'll be great for new fans coming in. It'll be great for legacy fans like me who want to experience it in a slightly different medium. The live action is also different from the manga.
Takos, you're not supposed to steal my next point.
And the thing is, I think, like I said, with media and games, I don't feel as strongly about it because media, I don't feel as strongly about it just being a reproduction of something that's already been created, right? Because, you know, I can say, oh, this one game existed in, you know, 1995. You never need to make a new version of that game. Why would I say that? I can't play that game anymore. It's from
Well, I think
1995.
the difference that, in my opinion, because I think it would still be pretty ridiculous for a manga or like really any like print medium to do this. And what separates that from, say, even visual novels or movies is when you're talking like digital medium, movies, visual novels, video games, anything. Those are bound by technical limitations of the time.
Yeah.
Whereas the only binding on novels or even printed
Paper.
comic books and manhwa is just ability.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and like, art styles change, right, as time goes on, right? Look at manga. We were talking about why would an author not rewrite their work, right? Like, why would Paolini not rewrite Aragon, right, to make it better to match his current quality? Well, why does Oda not go back and completely redraw all of One Piece before the time skip to match the post time skip art style? Because it means something. Like the original art style, the original writing voice of the author carries a weight to it, right? The that's part of the history of the work. That's part of its experience with the audience. That's part of us getting to watch the author grow and evolve and develop. That's the author getting to grow and evolve and develop. If you think that authors don't grow and change in manga or novels, you're wrong. Any writer you read is going, like, even if their books are published one per year, right, is going to change year to year. Stephen King's novels do not all read the same. Stephen King has changed the way that he writes over the years. There are old books that are very different from his modern books, and he pumps out a ton of books a year. Does he go back and rewrite his old ones? No. There's no point.
He absolutely could rewrite it so it doesn't include all the drug field stuff and the really, really weird, creepy stuff that he is downright said he doesn't remember writing.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't.
Yeah. No, and Dakota Doyle, I absolutely am. I mean, look at what Oda's doing with the One Piece TV series. The One Piece TV series is not following along the plot of One Piece. Right, Knick Knack? You should know that better than anyone at this point, because you've been reading the manga and you watched the live action with me. It's not 1-to-1, but they're both great.
Where I think it separates, and I think this is so Tacos, you brought up the Star Wars special editions. Seki, are you familiar with all the Star Wars special edition stuff?
No.
So basically what happened is the version of Star Wars you've probably seen. The one that your parents probably showed you, the ones that you can go watch on Disney Plus right now.
The DVD box that I own.
That's not the same movie that originally released in theaters.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. I've heard of this. Yeah, the re-edits.
Re-edited and inserted all these digital effects. And they add them almost every release. Even the most recent Disney Plus releases, when they released it in 4K on Disney Plus, had a change.
Yeah.
And George was doing that pretty much all the way up until he sold the franchise and Disney just released the final cut they had from him. That's controversial though, because, and this is why I think that's bad. This is bad compared to other scenarios you brought up, because this isn't a remaking the original Star Wars when he wants to do it again with better filmmaking techniques. No, this is a going in and altering the original and then proceeding to, and this happens before director's cuts, by the way, but then proceeding to never release the original theatrical cut ever again.
Yeah.
And kind of putting that behind lock and key.
Yeah, so the best contrast to this is obviously Lord of the Rings, if we're comparing it, right? Because Lord of the Rings, we have the theatrical release, and we have the extended release, right? And the presence of the extended release has never invalidated the original cinematic release, and the original cinematic release has never invalidated the extended release, right? And that went for both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. One and done, both versions. You've got an extended, you've got a theatrical, right? I think when you're doing it like Lucas was doing the Star Wars, that's unnecessary self-editing, right? That's that is an author who is too obsessed with the minutia of their product, right? That is an author who cannot put their work out into the public and let it exist, right? Like, obviously he had to keep doing things because he was never satisfied, etc., etc. For most authors, what you would do is you would just evolve as you move on, like making new movies, writing new books, etc. And that's how it should be done, right? That way, you change things as you go. If you're constantly invalidating and like re-editing your own work, then the value of the original work degrades, but so does the value of your re-edit. Because then all of a sudden you have what, like 30 changes, some of which are valid, some of which aren't. Oh wait, the new version invalidates the ones that were, but brings back some of the ones that weren't, but then those become invalid after that, and then so you destroy the integrity of a story by doing that, by creating too many minute changes, right? If you were changing like a major story beat because you really felt like it needed to be changed, that's one thing, right? Like Sapkowski, the guy who writes The Witcher, right? He came out in an interview recently. We talked about this last time, and he said that he wished he hadn't mentioned different Witcher schools and had it perceived as actually different schools, like School of the Snake, School of the Bear, like et cetera, et cetera. That is one change that deeply affected the evolution of the gaming franchise, right? Like, especially. And I can see why he would want to go back and re-release that first book without that mention in it. I get that. That's a minor enough change that made a big enough impact later on that doesn't affect any of the books he wrote after, because he never wrote books with that intention further in mind. So if he wants to go back and change that one line in his own story, that's fine, right? But if he was sitting here and he was like, let me re-edit this book, not to like rewrite the quality of the content, but like, let me take out this character and add that character and make this fight happen here and that, then you're invalidating the original work. You're admitting to your audience that you do not like your own story, and you do not like how your readers are reading your story. And if you don't like your story, why should I like your story? Why should I trust that your edit is the one I should read when you keep editing it? Why should I trust that this final cut released on Disney Plus of the Star Wars movies is actually what Lucas intended and better than the original, when he's done this so many times over the years? Oh my fucking bug, sorry.
With Lucas, it was a bit of a burgeoning philosophy that proved to not be very good.
Yeah.
I think something like Blade Runner, though, and something like the Lord of the Rings special editions, at the very least, even if we're like, okay, yeah, you're re-releasing this later with some changes, you still have that original available to you as a consumer. Yeah. The Star Wars, the original cut, is only available on like the very earliest like proto home releases. And also you can, like, they're going to be finally re-releasing it like in 2027 is the announced date for re-release of the original Star Wars.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I think there's a difference between going back and, in the case of like a media production, rewriting something to both, like, if you're already remaking a piece of media, right, to bring it up to date with technology, then yeah, go ahead, make your changes, right? Because the original version will still exist, and your new version will exist, and new people and old people can play your new version, and people will have played your older version, right? That's fine. So I don't really care if a visual novel author or a game author or a TV show is, decides like years later that they're like, I want to update this, like I want to take this, bring it into the modern tech or digital age and change some things. Okay, that's fine. To do it, go for it. It's your show. Things have changed, and now you have a good reason to change it, right? Especially games, right? And a visual novel is a game. It is sold in a gaming store. It is played on a gaming console. It is a game. I will not invalidate that it is a game just because I don't like the fact that it's all text. It is a game. It's just not my kind of game. But I think that's a fantastic reason to go in and change story. Like, if you're going to update the game, might as well create a essentially brand new product that gives good value to the people buying it. And maybe provides a better entrance to new fans who are like, oh, maybe I wanted to play, what's he rewriting, Nasu? What's he redoing?
Yukihime.
Yeah, maybe fans were thinking, "Oh, I kind of wish I could have read Tsukihime, but it's really hard to get a copy of it." Oh, he's remaking it. Like, I'll just do that. Okay. Yeah. Go off. There's gonna be Wikipedia pages that tell you what changed between the original and the remake. If you care, go read the Wikipedia page.
They're taking our porn, Seki. They've removed the porn from Tsukihime.
Go read the Wikipedia page. Go on AO3. Go on Twitter. Go on LiveJournal. Go on Wattpad. Go on fanfiction.net. Take your ass over to Tumblr. You will find your porn, I promise. I don't know if that's what chat and you expected me to go down that route.
No, I just wanted to hear your analysis. To be honest, I pretty much agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
Like I'm not arguing here. I more or less agree.
Look, I know chat and I don't agree about visual novels. I know you and I don't agree about visual novels, but it doesn't change the fact that I will acknowledge that they are games and they are something that people like. You know? I get it. And honestly, like I said, if it comes out on a gaming console, you are well within your rights to update it every generation so long as the original is still available somewhere.
Dakota Dale, what's keeping me from having Seki read Tsukihime is nothing to do with the fact that with her resistance. In fact, she's asked me when the next visual novel we're doing is.
Yeah, I actively owe him.
What's stopping me is more my personal time. The fact that I've got I need to get Hollow Axia's video done before I even look at any new visual novels to read. And then I also kind of owe Seki a apology for not clarifying well enough that she should only read the first half of the Great Ace Attorney collection. So I need to read that as well.
Honestly, Nick Nack, that time might have passed. I think at this point I'd have to replay the second half to remember it. we might have put that in the rear view a couple months ago.
Regardless, that's one of the factors keeping me from giving her another visual novel, including Fate Stay Night, by the way. I was never letting that personal video release after and off the shelf for Fate Stay Night. Before we do any of the reviews for Fate Stay Night, any of the routes, that personal content was getting done. But other than that, on Tsukihime, which is the one I'm a little bit more interested in having her read, there's just no PC port, and I'm not. We saw how well MiHoYo went on PS5 for her, and
I need a PC port.
Tsukihime, even one of the routes, in my opinion, is significantly more of a marathon than the amount we were having Seki read for MiHoYo. And unlike MiHoYo, I wouldn't want to split it into like clean little chunks that she could finish in one long sitting if she let herself.
Yeah, it's not that like I'm not willing to read more VNs. Like I said, I'm actively in a quid pro quo deficit to you right now since our TV watching tendencies. Like I well and truly owe you at least one visual novel at this point, if not two. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't care. I'll play them. It's just time.
So fun fact, guys, and it's not a visual novel we're doing next as far as a gaming off the shelf, because I don't know when I'll be able to get around to visual novels again. I did give Seki a video game to play to potentially do an off the shelf for that I'm in the That'll be a funky one though, because I have played the game, but the game is technically a remake of another game, and for my reread, I'm reading the original game because the scripts are mostly the same. But that's its own funkiness. You'll see that if and when it ever comes to fruition.
You know, ironically, Tacos, it's not an isekai deficit. It's actually Avatar Critical Role Legend of Korra.
Okay, but I wanted to watch Critical Role, and
but we did say
Legend of
we'd
Korra,
trade.
And Legend of Korra, I pushed to watch because I need to finish that before the new series comes out.
Yeah.
Or even the gang movies, I want to have it done before those come out.
Yeah. But, like, you know, it is more that necessarily than all the reincarnation isekai videos.
Honestly, I was going to say it's more One Piece, because the amount of marathoning I have to do to get through a One Piece off the shelf.
Yeah.
Like, consistently, to do a One Piece off the shelf, I've basically had to make sure I have a solid, 2 or 3 weeks without any other off the shelves to record.
I honestly, those One Piece off the shelves are part of the reason why Vorn's going to be appearing in more off the shelves soon, like very soon, and will continue appearing with me to do other things like books that I wouldn't have Knickknack read, or even some other, I think, media analyses. We've got some interesting plans for looking at like a cross comparison across like multiple forms of media on the same series. Like Vorn and I have this one series, right, that we love. We've seen the anime, we've seen the live action, and we've read the novel, both of us, and so we really want to do a video kind of talking about like it in all of its aspects. So we're gonna be doing that soon.
Dakota Dill, unfortunately for Seki Reacts and Tsukihime servants, she's not going to give a shit if I just show her CL or any of the forms of Arcuade, or any of the other form of Arcuade that she hasn't seen yet. She won't give a fuck.
Well, I don't have anything for a video on that.
Yeah,
I think the problem with that is that like it is just going to be me sitting there being shown things. Honestly, that might just be a better stream topic than a video topic.
but it's not worth it because anything that happens in those animations or anything that shown off there, what's your reaction? Like, oh, that's a pretty animation. Oh, you just spoiled an entire visual novel for me to explain what was going on. There's no
Yeah.
point to it. That's why we're probably I'm just gonna whenever eventually I have you read the Tsukihime remake, you'll react to it after that's done.
Kind of like
That's
you
what we
did
did with
for
Mihoyo.
for Mihoyo, because that's where
That's
we
what we're
put
going to be
in.
doing, and that's what I've shifted to doing with the Prisma Ilia girls. Which Seki, once we finish up Prisma Ilia, either 2 or 3, will react to the Prisma Ilia girls and all of their FGO releases.
Takos, are you making the guess that what I'm talking about between me and Vorn is Stephen King's It? It's not. It's King's Avatar. I just want to clarify that. You will never see me reviewing Stephen King on this channel. Never.
You
Never.
guys might be able to get a micro on for me. You might get a micro review of Welcome to Derry. I've been very interested in watching that.
Uh no. No, Takos. It was not near us and it was not at a time we could make.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of a drive out for us to make it to the closest theater that was showing it, and it's just like I maybe I could have make it work, but it wouldn't have been that worth it. And I don't. Seki hasn't even seen Whispers at Dawn, and to my knowledge, they weren't showing Whispers at Dawn. Trying to get anyone through the gauntlet of getting out there, it just wasn't worth it. It would have been either Seki or my brother I'd have gone with, and Seki's not caught up enough. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to make her catch up for something she's not confident is releasing ever. And my brother, he's got stuff going on like I do, and it just I wasn't neither. I didn't think either of them would be that interested in it.
I don't think so. I said I wasn't gonna watch. Wait, what was WOD?
Um,
Whispers in the Dark. Sorry, was that what it is? The Strange Fake episode, whatever it was.
Whispers, probably Whispers at Dawn.
Oh,
No,
Whispers at
she did
Dawn.
not whisper at Dawn.
No, no.
Uh, Pirating the original Tsukihime. Look, the original Tsukihime is something she could read. There is a free, there is an online fan like web port of it. That's actually really, really good. You guys should go check it out. But I don't think she would enjoy it very much, to be honest. I really don't. Not that nothing wrong with the story it's telling. It's just there's a lot of old Nasuisms I don't think would necessarily click with her.
I'd make that joke, when have you ever considered that? But actually, ironically, you've been relatively considerate about trying to at least show me things that you think I'd enjoy. Given that I am an opinionated and stubborn person.
Look, I didn't show you Mihoyo because I thought you would enjoy reading Mihoyo. Gave you Mihoyo because it was short.
Yeah.
All things considered, it was relatively breezy to get through compared to what even a single route on Fate Stay Night or Tsukihime would be.
Yeah.
The only real visual novel option we have right now is Fate Stay Night, but that in itself is a bit of a Fate Stay Night. I need a cooldown from right now.
It's also
I just spent the better part of like a year and a half on that thing.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those things where like I worry that if I tried to start one of those games on my own, I wouldn't I wouldn't have the drive to finish it in my own time, and I don't have time in my streaming schedule to add a game regularly, which means that it would just get drug out so far, and I think that would make me enjoy it even less. And I don't necessarily I there are some times when I'm perfectly happy doing like a marathon gaming stream with you guys, but I mean, you got to keep in mind like I'm in headphones, there's bright light shining on me, there's microphones, I'm like relatively uncomfortable at a lot of times during streams. I'm either too hot or too cold, and I can't really move a whole lot because, there's the camera angle, and my chair's not the most comfy, but no chair would be after 5 hours, etc. So while I don't mind doing long gaming streams occasionally, especially if I'm having fun with chat, like that can make everything feel better. I wouldn't want to commit to like a 6 hour stream every other weekend or something just to get through a game per se. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot.
Well, especially something like we're talking visual novels here. Like visual novels are pretty much all reading,
Yeah.
and it's not interesting to put on screen and just have the words all Seki silently stares like.
Yeah. Especially at the speed I'd be going through it. Like you guys would just be seeing like the pages flicker practically. Um
And
and at that
Seki can't
speed
read
I
out
also
loud that long without any breaks.
yeah, and at that speed I would also not want to I wouldn't be able to engage with chat. And at that point, why am I streaming it? I'm playing it on my own time. And if I'm playing it on my own time, I'm spending 6 hours of my Saturday. Well, I could be spending 6 hours of my Saturday on something I'd probably enjoy more and could do with my friends.
And these routes are anywhere between 10 to 15 hours long a
Yeah.
pop, if not approaching 20, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They're not short.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing where like I could see maybe doing like a monthly stream day event if I could guarantee getting through it in like 3 stream days. But that'd be 3 months, Still.
That's a long time to like be sitting on part of a narrative and then forgetting stuff before you get
Yeah.
back around to it.
Yeah, because I just wouldn't have time to do a stream day that long more than once a month.
I mean, I'm sure that's a huge reason why you just stopped doing Ace Attorney streams.
Yeah, Ace Attorney was rough. It's like arguably it was easier to read it on my own because I could go much faster. And going faster means that I'm investing less time into it. Less time means I have more time to do other things. Um, don't get me wrong, I love FGO, but like I promise you, like if I was not reading this on stream, I could be caught up so fast. Like actively, I could be caught up so fast. I could have
He's
already
reading it on stream
been.
because the audience is actually interested in seeing it read on stream.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's definitely one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, if this was like a full-time job, I wouldn't mind so much, but I have now
You can't
an
just
8 to
commit.
4, you know?
You can't just pick a game and then stream every morning for a week and get it done.
Yeah, I have an 8 to 4 now. um
Um, Part two, we've been pretty open about how part two is going to be handled. There are chapters that she's going to try to read beginning to end. If we
Anna,
don't reach a certain point in that chapter by a certain cutoff date that we want to be, that we want,
if
that
I
we set,
have
we're going to keep things
energy,
moving.
yeah, if so I have cutoff points for things that I'm reading out loud. And basically if I hit a cutoff point and I haven't finished it, then it's up to me to decide whether I think I can push through like a really long weekend stream or something, or just read it in my own time and give you guys like a live reaction in the Discord, basically like texting as I'm reading it, because I can do that. Um, and then we're kind of I think you've got a list somewhere. Like I'm reading Anna, for example. The goal is for me to read, I think, Olympus, Avalon Lefay, and Nahui Mictlan.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
That is
I
most of the
wanted
list right there.
yeah, I wanted Heian-kyo. I wanted Heian-kyo.
That one's short. If you're ahead of schedule, you
Yeah.
should have enough time to read that one pretty quickly.
Yeah. And like I said, the viewer engagement, if I'm having fun, if I have time on the weekends, obviously I hate to admit it, but summer might be a really fruitful streaming time for me. Um since that's going to be a really rough time for work. Ah, the joys of a teaching schedule and yet not year-round teaching benefits. Um, but yeah, I really try with FGO. I'm both enjoying it and I enjoy like seeing you guys enjoy it. So FGO's kind of you. There are a lot of things I have put to the side to keep FGO as a weekly stream. You
Trust
know?
me, tacos. We are accounting for the fact that some of these chapters that we just described are very long.
Yeah.
Like I didn't set those goals with the idea of, oh, we need to get done with this in a month or two.
Yeah.
For especially for like Avalon Lefay and Nahuim, or Avalon Lefay especially, there's plenty of time for Seki to read through those. So long as if things come up in life, things come up in life, and we can cut that short.
Cause what? Well, what's the end of 26 cutoff is Avalon Lefay, right? I'm supposed to be around Avalon Lefay by the end of this coming year.
I can give you the exact cutoffs I set. They're kind of set in a funky way, though. They're actually
Yeah.
probably I could probably make them less stringent even. But let
Yeah.
me look for my goals page. I did set up a goals
Cause,
page.
cause the goal, guys, is for me to be through the ordeal calls in time to get that giant reward in 2027.
I also
Like
want to give you
that's the general goal. Um.
if
So
you want to like a
the
quick like if you want a quick like shorthand for the goal, I want her to be in ordeal call in time so that she can kind of participate in the grand raids. And then I want her to be through the ordeal calls in time for her to participate in the grand caster raid when it launches.
yeah.
Just so that she has some opportunity to engage with the game at around that time of year.
Yeah, because I'm not really getting to engage at the game with the game right now. In terms of how the off the shelves get organized, it will always be one lost belt per video, as far as I'm aware. So it like God or Damarong all together, you know. And even for the ones that I read on stream, you'll still be getting off the shelves for them. So you will get an off the shelf for Avalon Lefay. You were getting off the shelf for Nahui Mictlan.
There's a couple times where things get combined. Like the prologue is going to be combined with Anastasia because the prologue is so short and it does lead directly into
Yeah.
Anastasia. Atlantis Olympus are going to be combined together
Mm-hmm.
because it is kind of two hours of one story.
Yeah.
Um, and then there will be no split for Avalon Lefay.
And just because I'm not reading a story on stream doesn't mean I'm not playing it on stream. I'll just be skipping through
Mhm.
story for those.
But we know from example from me
Mm-hmm.
doing it that you can finish like a long stream can get you done with with pretty much any of the story chapters outside of the long ones you're reading anyways.
Yep.
So that's kind of where we're saving time here is the fact that Seki's only going to need 1 to 2 streams for
Yep.
most of these chapters if she's playing at a consistent pace.
Yeah. So interchapter singularities will be separate from will for the most part be separate from the other it should be singularity by singularity unless something explicitly is going to go together like prologue and Anastasia because of like length or something. Those should all be kept separate unless there's something linking them intrinsically in a way that cannot be separated. If they're just connected, well, all of FGO is connected. I'm not doing all of FGO as a single off the shelf. Heian
Like
Kyo will be separate, you know, etc. And the Indian Lost Belt is one I will be reading, so Oku will be separate from the Indian Lost Belt because I don't think I'm reading Oku on stream, but
no.
I am reading the Indian Lost Belt. So those two will obviously be split up. Even if they lead into it, they're still two separate stories.
So here's the goals as they stand now. These are subject to kind of change. We can remap things out depending on Seki's drive. Anastasia and the prologue we want to be done by the end of March 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantis Olympus we want to be through by the end of July 2026. In Avalon Lefay we want to be through by the end of the year. So it's 3 on-stream reads
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of gameplay streams.
Yep. Now there's a chance that I managed to power through a fair bit like fast. Like we'll see how that goes. Um Obviously I can get through gameplay centric chapters pretty quickly if I'm just really focusing down and especially the ones with like trick fights and stuff. People are here to help me. I've usually got someone in the chat.
There's only one chapter, maybe 2, where I'm kind of iffy on whether or not it's even a good idea to do the gameplay on stream, or if I'm even gonna have you play it to completion instead of just reading the script.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big one is Oku. I'm gonna let you try it,
Mm-hmm.
but Seki, I don't know if you've ever seen my Oku streams. You
Nope.
probably haven't. They were miserable affairs skipping the story
Ugh.
because the entire thing is it's a very gameplay forward thing, but the entire thing is like, oh, you have like you're progressing through like a D&D kind of dungeon. It's like exploring dungeons in Roll20, except
Ugh.
like made for an event. So like you're supposed to have like hours upon hours of what's effectively supposed to be the grinding by going through
Mm.
here, and you're doing that like 3 to 5 times,
Ah.
and then you have another. It's a bit tedious to play through. You're welcome to give it a try. I encourage you to give it a try. But like if you're getting bored after a stream or two, I would just start reading the script on that one.
Yeah, because with the Lost Belts, I don't have to finish them. Some of them, well, Oku's not a. That's a separate chapter, right? Like I don't have to
That's one of the main
finish
interludes,
it.
kind of like Seraph.
Okay, so but I do I have to finish it to move on?
Yes, with the Lost Belts you
Oh,
do.
okay. So
Oku's not that way,
well, that's what
but
I
like
meant. Is
in most,
Oku
yeah,
like that?
yeah, most of the main interludes are
Okay.
not that way. There's a couple where I'm like, okay, you probably should be at least finish reading it before you move on.
Yeah.
But there are they do
Okay.
they do make a difference. There's only one right now that might stop progression
Okay.
for
Yeah,
an interlude.
that makes sense. That does make a lot of sense. I mean, that's fair. But yeah, the thing is, I want to read parts of this. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want to, like I said, I was the one who said I wanted to read Heian Kyo. Heian Kyo was not originally in the plans.
And
Like,
you're the
Knick
one that
Knack
says
was
you
gonna have
want
us skip that.
and you're the one that says you want to read Yuga Kshetra as well.
Exactly. Like, there are ones that are here because I want to read them. Um, yeah,
But those chapters I listed out are definitely the priorities.
yeah.
So it really just depends on how far ahead of schedule Seki is when we're getting around to things in the middle there.
And yeah, Dakota Doyle, for the stuff that I'm reading in my own time, I'm absolutely willing to post like reaction comments like in the, in the Discord or something, you know? Like if I sit down and I say, "Hey guys, I'm going to be reading this for like the next 3 hours, so any posts you see from me on this topic are definitely related to it." You know? I mean, I do that to Knick Knack sometimes, even regardless. You know, like we'll be watching an anime or reading something. I'll just send you a text message being like, "What the fuck? What is this shit?" I did that for the UBW. Obviously, you guys couldn't really see it because we don't film video for the podcast. But I actually did that for UBW. I kept like a notebook and I like wrote down my exact reactions at funny parts and stuff like that, and then
What if
went
we just
through it.
opened a what if we just opened a channel on the Discord that nobody else could post in but you, and it's just called Seki Reacts?
Oh, it could be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a log. I just put a date and like where I'm at in the story and just go from there. That'd be actually really funny, especially as like sort of a record log moving forward. That's
Mhm.
actually maybe worth it. We'll see when I get to the first chapter I'm reading off stream. For now, you guys are getting the prologue and Anna, so
There's other things I want to do while, because like obviously when she's doing these on-stream chapters, there's going to be a pretty large amount of time that we're focusing on that long stream chapter. So that's why I want to throw in FGO events here and there as like a maybe once per on-stream chapter, like little thirst quencher.
I'll see if I can find the post-it notes, Tacos. They're around here somewhere. I have them in a
They're in one of
notebook.
her books.
Yeah, I don't throw away my notebook, so I know they're here. In this room. In this very room. I know they're here. I'll find them. I might actually have photos of them in a group chat with a friend of mine. That I can just shunt over to the Discord. They were really funny, some of those notes. Unfiltered Seki. It was great. I don't do that as often anymore, and I really should because I did it for Lost Einherjar. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I talked about it during Lost Einherjar. But that's a lot of fun to do, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely doing the Steggy event. There are like some event reruns that I will want to do on stream. But I think for the vast majority of those, the goal will be if I know that an event is coming up, I will just clear a weekend calendar day and just plan to do them. You know what I mean? like an actual event, like, you know, invite friends over to hang out with me while I'm doing it and just read my way through like the entire event and play my way through it all. And get like the main stuff done on stream, and then I can grind off stream, you know? Especially if I try to schedule it near the beginning of events, that gives me a lot of time to kind of muster myself into grinding off stream.
Generally, for a 3 week event, you'd want to do that about a week in when they drop all the story chapters out, and then after that, like after that week, you just unlock the grinding node and finish off your grinding after that. So you have
Yep.
2 weeks to grind.
Yep. So I mean, you know, obviously we'll go through the events that are coming up and see if there's anything I like particularly want to do. Um I know that I guess there's only 3 of you here. I don't mind saying it. I'm so fucking mad that I don't get to fully participate in
In this
this
year's
in
Christmas.
this fucking Christmas.
And like there were like this wasn't even a matter of, oh, Seki, we can
I literally
we
can't.
can get
There's
you through this
nothing
quickly. It's
there's
Strom.
nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I could do about it. And it that video that's gonna be
You
out.
see, Tacos, I might ask Seki to read that Mihoyo event when it drops early next year because it would be kind of funny since we did the Mihoyo VN together for off the
Yeah.
shelf.
Yeah.
But that's up to Seki because that's free time Seki could be spending, especially starting out on part two. And I know she wants to get a lead on some of those early chapters so she can do Yukushetra before Atlantis Olympus needs to be done in July. She'd probably need to be through Yukushetra by like April or May to even have a chance.
Yeah, which means I'll probably really try to. The thing is, if I start prologue Wednesday, there's a decent chance I really push Anna while you're gone. You know what I mean? Because if oh god, if I could push Anna enough to have it done by the end of January, that would be perfection. Dakota
Yeah, because
Doyle,
Daughter
there's
Damarung and Sin will like fall off really quickly. And then you just have Oku and Yukushetra.
yeah, Dakota Doyle. There is a reason I am pissed as fuck about Christmas this year. Not yet, not yet, tacos.
Okay, can we cut the bullshit here? I make it pretty damn apparent that if we can do the Santa Servant on
Yeah,
the year it drops
yeah,
in NA, we're doing the Santa Servant
yeah,
on the year it drops in NA.
yeah, yeah. And let me tell you, the fury, the fury that you will experience when you watch that almost 3 hour video. I think last I checked the recording length. The fury I feel, the rage in my heart. Knick-Knack experienced it. The despair in my soul when I realized that there was no possible way for me to be able to play it fully.
Yeah, you'll still
Literally
have access to the event to grind the farming nodes if you want to. It'll be mocking you.
mocking me.
Everywhere you go, you'll see his face.
Well, fittingly, as it is the Christmas thing, we are getting it near Christmas. Not on Christmas. That's obviously we're not publishing a video on Christmas, but it is near.
No, we are.
No, we're not. Oh, you are.
Yeah, the video game.
Yeah, you do. It's gonna be basically the New Year's video for us. It's a couple days before New Year's, but it's coming out near the end of the month. Oh,
Yeah.
the pain in my soul. Anyways, but yeah, so we have goals. We have an outlined plan. I think I will want to push through easy stuff while I can. Kind of because I know that I'm sure there's going to be a point in the year where I have to like, you know, slump a little bit or take some time, etc. So the more I can push through when I'm in sort of the mood and have the time available to push through, the better it is for me.
There's only one that I'm predicting you won't be able to get done before the deadline, and that's Atlantis Olympus, especially if you're really intent on reading Yukushetra, you might have to skip the back end of Atlantis or skip through Atlantis Olympus at some point.
Yeah, and I don't want to, but needs must. I do need to be done with Avalon LaFay at the end of the year. And I've heard that Avalon LeVay is multi-part and very long.
It was released in multi-part, and yeah, it's the single longest chapter in FGO. That's
Yeah.
why I've given you July through December to get through hand. It's only hand kill and Avalon LeFay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Heian Kyo is not a long chapter. Heian Kyo is like, even reading it, probably 3 to 4 streams.
Yep. Dakota,
Playing it only is 1 stream.
Dakota Doyle, that's what Wednesday is for. Interludes and rank ups. We'll read the prologue and then we'll do interludes and rank ups. That's literally what we're doing on Wednesday. We are farming me quartz out of the shit that I should have caught up on weeks ago. Yeah. Oh, it'll be interesting. I think I'm excited. I don't, I don't anticipate being unmotivated in the next couple of months. But I've also had honestly everything coming into Epic of Remnant, and we just filmed we did sort of an Epic of Remnant retrospective at the end of our Christmas video, which will come out. Actually, the Christmas video comes out close to Christmas. For Christmas in the Underworld. FGO has become leagues and miles better for me as a game that I have committed to doing weekly since exiting part 1. Yeah. Just in general, the level at which streaming a game like that becomes easier when my enjoyment of the story is greater is insane, right? I mean, you've seen the switch around, Knick-Knack, of how much I was slogging through a lot of part 1, and then me actively being excited to finish Shimosa and Salem and stuff. It's
not to mention Shinjuku, where you were you got through that significantly faster than I thought you would because you were so enthusiastic.
Yeah, I moved quick on it. So I have a lot of hopes that I will enjoy some of the Lost Belts a lot. And I know that if I enjoy them, I will be more willing to move through them with speed and tenacity. You can feel free to get signatures on that petition, Tacos. That is not up to me. I don't even know which interlude that is.
Tacos, I'll tell you what. If we have Seki read the Scheherazade interlude, it'll happen with the Oku video. I'll give it to Seki to read all along with Oku if we just decide Seki's not even playing that on stream. I don't think Seki's going to want to play it on stream, having tried to stream just the gameplay myself. No. If you guys are willing to accept that Seki might not even play Oku on stream, and Seki is willing to read it in manuscript form, I will have Seki read it in manuscript form as an apology for the fact that Oku is getting less content. I've already snubbed Oku on this channel. I started playing that on the channel, and I just stopped playing it on the channel.
The way that any FGO story becomes 10 times more tantalizing of a read the minute you say, I can give you a script.
It's
cold hard paper.
I thought you were bringing up the Septum Agartha thing again.
No,
where it's
everyone
says how bad this is, so I don't want to read.
Yeah,
I want to read.
No. Cold hard paper. Y'all did not see how excited I was the first time I saw that stack of paper for Avalon LeFay. I was like, why can't I read that?
I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing for events with you in general. But no, Oku, it's not even the story. I actually more or less like the story of Oku. I think it's actually I like a lot of the parts in it. But it's just the gameplay of Oku.
Yeah.
It drags.
Yeah. Oh, and I know I've got to save time for shit like the I don't know, the Ort fight and stuff where I'm not going to be able to do it like I know stuff like that is going to be very hard for me, harder than any normal player,
Just invest in MASH. If your MASH is good, you can cheese your way to the Ort fight between MASH and the servants you actually have stuff put into.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm MASH. I keep MASH. I keep her in my party. I think slowly start leveling her skills, make sure her skills are 10-10, make sure she's max leveled, and eventually you'll unlock her level cap further, just raise it when you do. Yeah, I noticed recently that she finally got a boost where I could level up her skills some more. And I did put a little into her, but I just didn't have the mats for it. But I do need to keep on that. Um, it's the one where you just keep pulling in servants that you have and beating at it until either you die or it dies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean the gameplay for it is level as many servants as possible.
Unfortunately, what's possible is just not the same for Seki as it was for a year one player.
Yeah. Like it's
But
just not. I mean,
but it
if we had another couple lotto events between now and then, but I don't know
but,
if we'll have multiple lotto events between now and then.
but between Mash, the amount of unleveled servants Seki has that she can throw at it that can chip damage it, and the stuff she actually has leveled that can handle the harder phases, she'll be able to do her. I actually have no doubt in
Yeah.
my mind she'll be able to do her. The stuff I don't think she'll be able to do is like the four elemental boss quests in Ordeal Call, and those are optional. I'm gonna give her the story for those in like manuscript form again.
Well, and yeah, I did know that Dakota Doll. And the benefit of me having time, right, is that keep in mind, I mean, so I'll have two GSSRs and a banner that I'm rolling on this Christmas New Year's, right? Because I'm rolling on Skahak Ashvathama, but I'm gonna have the prologue GSSR and the New Year's GSSR, right? And I should be getting another servant ticket in this upcoming year. I
Yes.
believe. Yeah, so that's automatically a minimum 3 servants that I want. Actually, Nick Nack and I discussed who I'm rolling on for the
There will also be two more GSSRs before you get through Nahui Miklon,
yeah.
between the anniversary one and then next New Year's, because Nahui Miklon is just one of the early clears of 2020. Will be one of the early clears of 2026.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We've already discussed I know which New Year's GSSR I'm rolling on. Um do you, it was an arts. Yeah, it was the Avalon LaFay or Lady Avalon
Lady Avalon, Van Gogh.
and Crane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rolling on that one. That's the New Year's GSSR I've picked. It's Avalon, Crane, and Go. Um, so like,
Honestly, I won't. Honestly, if you want the one I want you to get the most, it's going to be either Avalon or Van Gogh. Those
yeah.
two are like, if you get either of those, it's like, yes, yes, bosses become easy for you.
And for me, it's Crane and Van Gogh. So maybe we both get our wish, and I get Van Gogh.
I'm hoping it averages out there.
Yeah, it's 1 out of 3. I'm gonna get someone that I'm gonna at least like, and it has a 2 out of 3 chance of being very helpful.
See, I look at Crane the same way I looked at you with Chin Shi Huang. I'm like, yeah, I know you love the character. I'm happy for you that you get her, but also you're not gonna ever play with her because her play style is absolutely the opposite of what you know how to do and what you do well.
And then, if I don't roll Aussie, he's probably gonna be my ticket. In the next year. And then I think we looked out of the prologue GSSR. There's a couple servants I'm interested in the prologue GSSR.
Okay, Dakota,
Yeah.
though, let me clear this up for you real quickly. Seki, are you at all interested in making a Grand Draco or a Grand a Space Aresh?
But but I think Frost and Tacos have such nice ones already that are at like level 102 and 10 10 10.
Or are you probably going to Grand, say your Qin Shi Huang or your Luvia or your I don't know what extra two servants you have?
Look,
Yeah, if any.
look. So let's be so for real, chat. We all know who in the extra classes I'm gonna grand out of the servants I already have.
You get two of them. You're gonna kind of want to back up there, but you
We
can switch it back to one
we
of them.
already know who one of them is gonna be. It's Luvia. I am granding Luvia if it kills me. I don't know who else is going to be there, but I don't actually have a Draco. And honestly, I wasn't actually planning on sinking the whole ton of courts into Draco when she gets rerun. Sorry.
So, like,
Supports have good Dracos already. I don't need to do that to myself. I will grand my Luvia.
so like, yes, they are not optional if you want to make a Grand Beast. But Seki probably physically won't be able to do them by the time she unlocks them. and B, she didn't have interest in making a Grand Beast in the first place, to my knowledge.
Yeah, no. Like, Draco's great, but if I need a Draco, I will just borrow a Draco and support them with my own servants. I've been leveling Vritra. It just she's not my priority in terms of getting her leveled and skilled because I'm still working on some other stuff. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for Grand Ushi.
I can't wait to have to decide who my Grand Rider is gonna be, and then actually have a fucking cage match between what fucking Odysseus, Iskandar, and Ozymandias. That's unfair. That's bullying, is what that is. Do you know what I mean? That's bullying.
How about your Grand Saber? What you thinking on Grand Saber right now? Like, where with what you've got right now, what you plan to get.
Right, okay. If we're gonna go through this, let me pull up my account real quick. Because I don't remember who it's actually, it's open already. Alright, servants, let's sort by types. Let's start with Saber. Out of who I have in my Sabers, like genuinely, it's either gonna be Satanta or Karna. That's out of who I have, though. That's presuming I don't get a Saber I like better.
You have said that you'd be interested in granding Summer Hokusai, too.
I would grand Summer Hokusai, yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to be a pretty easy one to get once she drops in the Leaf Shop.
Yeah. Is Cinderella a Saber?
Rider.
Cinderella's
a rider. So she gets to join that cage match.
Okay. Archers, I actually don't. I mean, Tristan, I guess, or UDK Barguest. That's it. That's all I've got.
Look, don't feel bad. I suffered on archers for the longest time. I feel you here.
Yeah, yeah. Lancer, get fucked. You know who it's gonna be.
Cool, baby.
Yes. I don't want to talk about riders. Oh, because I also have cats. I don't want to talk about riders. I don't want to talk about riders. That's not a conversation I want to have.
Remember, also, if you ever get a classic Nemo or Noah, they're also riders.
I don't want to talk about riders. That's unfair to me. This is bullying. Casters, it'll be Juge right now, at least. Assassin. I'll probably just stick with Koyan for assassin.
Look, you're gonna get a lot of friend points out of that. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Also, you won't have to grind her to bond 10 to get the bond 10 effect. She'll probably have bond 10 by then.
Yeah. Hot take. I kind of wanna grand my Cha-Cha.
It'll be a hilarious one. Let me tell you, that's a funny one. You will be a meme.
Why?
Because Cha-Cha is like actually one of the worst servants in the game gameplay wise.
Well, okay, but like, hear me out.
No, I get it. You like the character.
Yeah, but also, hear me out. My choices here right now are Coulter, and I've already said 2 coups. I mean, I could go 3, but if I was going to go 3, I might as well go 4 and do Cascu too.
I mean, is that such a bad idea?
Imagine I just grand all coups.
Exactly. It sounds great.
I've got Sei, I've got Ibaraki, I've got Asterios, I've got not Lubu, no, Horseman. I can't see his name because I'm just looking at his face and I've forgotten it. My baby. Consort Yu's husband. Yeah. I've got is that a Jolter? I think it's Jolter Summer.
Yes.
Yeah. Cha-Cha. And then, in Shimosa. Raiko. I've got Raiko. Like, that's what I've got.
At the end of the day, rule number 1 of FGO is Grail for love.
Yeah.
Just know that raid is going to be pretty hellish, and it's going to be hilarious to see that on my friends list, the Grand Cha-Cha.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking at, like, okay, in my extra classes, right? So I get, what, you said, like, 2 extra classes?
You're going to get, yes, you can actually make it any extra classes, but it still encourages you to pick one of extra 1 and one of extra 2.
Okay.
Extra 1 is Ruler, Moon Cancer, Avenger. Extra 2 is everything else.
I mean,
Oh, and Shielder an extra one. Sorry.
I could tell you what the two would be if I'm not counting Mash.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it'd be Domon and Luvia.
Oh yeah, Domon is
Yeah,
extra two. That actually works, and
yeah,
he's pretty good.
yeah. Oh, I've had a Berserker Raikou for like, I don't know, 8 months. Yeah,
She got Berserker Raikou pretty early on,
yeah.
actually.
I've
She just
just
hasn't used
had
Berserker
her.
Raikou much.
Yeah, I've even put a little bit into leveling her. Yeah, not a lot, but I put a little. But yeah, no, that actually, and that's unintentional. I'd get Ashia and Luvia filling the extra one, extra two. So that's out of the servants that I have right now, right? Keep in mind,
Obviously, things change.
yeah, like if I were to get like Van Gogh, well, obviously Van Gogh would take precedence over one of either Luvia or Domon. Probably Domon, to be honest, because I really wanna stick with Luvia. Um, let's see if I don't want to talk about Ryder. That's going to be an absolute fucking cage match. There's like 10 servants that
There's
I
already too many
want.
candidates.
I, I it's like all of my riders and all the ones I want. Motherfucker. My Luvia's at 10, 10, 10 already.
Yeah, she literally just needs to grail Luvia and to 100, and Luvia
Yeah.
could be perfectly fine as a Grand Cannon. If Seki wasn't trying to level other servants right now for EXP, she could totally
Yeah.
check everything into Luvia. In fact, if she grinds this Nemo event, I'd almost encouraging leveling Luvia just to make Luvia that much more helpful on her team for just last man standing.
Oh, Indra's a rider too.
No, he's a Lancer.
Oh, he's a Lancer, thank God. Indra might come over coup.
Reduce the coup count.
Yeah, Indra might reduce the coup count there.
Well,
I mean, like, it would be very funny if I were to, in every category, I could put a coup. I don't think that's very realistic, though. Let's...
honestly, your best coup is probably Berserker coup, especially if you pull Indra.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you need a coup to represent.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about the riders. I'm like, Iskandar is fantastic. I love Ozzy, Ketz. I mean,
You're already pretty safely going to be able to substitute out Satanta for Hokusai if Hokusai is your preferred Grand amongst knowing Hokusai is you're probably going to get one.
Yeah, fucking Nemo. That's not even a fucking Mecha Ellie-chan. Oh, I'm in pain. Right? Why did riders become the problem?
Because you really like your rider servants.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who's also going to be a Lancer?
Oh, yeah. You know what? No. If I get an Indra, Coulter can be my Grand Berserker.
You know who's also going to be a Lancer you'll probably be able to get a copy of pretty easily?
Oh.
Minecraft Van Gogh.
Hi, Minecraft Van Gogh. I
have a feeling, though, that depends on Indra, and that also depends on whether or not you get regular Van Gogh, too.
Look. If I get Indra, he will be my Grand for that category. If I get Minecraft Van Gogh, I like Minecraft Van Gogh, but I'll stick with Coup. Yeah. That's my opinion on that. Oh man, I really thought the Lancers were going to be the problem because I had so many of them that I liked. The Lancers are not the problem.
No, you have some that you like. Like there's like you like they're the ones you like the one you like that much.
Yeah, it's
what are your chances at actually getting a Grand Assassin you care about? Because you don't care about your Grand Assassin at all right now.
It'd be Koyan right now, just cause. I mean, let me take a look at the assassins I know.
It's certainly the easy way out, and there's far worse. Like Koyan you could literally borrow a specific servant and you'd be able to solo the Grand Raid pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm taking a look real quick at the ones that I know so far. If I was to pick someone outside of Koyan, right, that I currently know, and let's put aside attainability. We'll kind of like put that on the back burner and not really think about that a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be a toss-up between Locusta, Kichi Hogan, and probably Nito. Yeah, and maybe Carmilla. Like honestly, that'd probably be the toss up.
I mean, you
I
have
do
Summer
have
Nito.
Cleo. Yeah, I do have Summer Nito, and I do have a lot of copies of her. And I do have Cleo. I just don't want to really make Cleo. I don't think Cleo's a good choice. My Cleo is leveled. Like she's got some skill attributes to her, but I also haven't used her in so long.
Do you want to know a hilarious option for Grand Assassin that I don't think you're gonna pick? You shouldn't pick, but you'll find it funny. Making a Grand Jekyll and Hyde, because you know what happens to Jekyll and Hyde, right?
Oh yeah,
His NP just makes him a berserker, and when he
yeah.
becomes a berserker, he becomes Grand Berserker when you make him Grand Assassin.
Oh,
So you then turn around and take Grand Berserker into the Grand Assassin fight, and like the only servant in any of the
beat
Grand
the
fights that fought an
shit
actual
out of
class
it.
advantage.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be rough, buddy, but it'd be funny.
We have a friend that's obsessed with Jekyll and Hyde, or was obsessed with Jekyll
Yeah,
and Hyde. I don't know if they still play the game much. If they do, though, I'm sure they got a kick out of it.
yeah. I don't know. I think out of all those names I listed, though, Locusta's probably sitting at the top if I didn't have to account for actually attaining her. And if I have to account for servants I actually have, it's probably Nito Assassin, but at this point, Koyan's got more investment into her, so.
Koyon should ideally be 10-10-10 by then. You'll have her
Yeah.
pretty close to Bond 10, if not Bond 10 already, so you can pull out some
Yeah.
extra bullshit from that.
She's pretty much one of my highest bond levels because she's in every team composition I make, unless it's arts based.
That's actually arguably one of the stronger reasons for Ku to be your Grand Berserker, too, is because he's probably going to be close to, if not Bond 10 by then.
Yeah, and imagine I also bond Ashia. We already know those three work well together. You know? Like, we already know that they work well together. Imagine I fucking go for all three of them at the time. But obviously, these rankings are going to change, like, drastically depending on what servants I attain and stuff like that. Like I said, like my rider is just completely up to what I have at the time, and then it's going to be a cage match between them. My Lancer is wholly dependent on whether or not I get Indra. Because it'll be Ku if I don't get Indra. But if I get Indra, you best fucking bet it's gonna be Indra.
It'll be funny, though, because you'll have to have all the mats and everything to ascend and get Indra leveled because he drops with the Grand Duel
I know.
like a week before, I think.
I know. It almost makes me want to think about like potentially just accumulating some of that in advance, but then I look at that and I'm like,
You'll be fine because you've been hoarding your pure prisms.
yeah.
So by the time you're at that point in the game, you should have plenty of pure prisms to dump into something like Indra last minute.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's good on you that your account's better for the fact that you've saved your pure prisms to this point.
Mhm. Cuz when I need to use them, I'll have them at this point. Yeah, yeah. The whole goal here is to get me to that free 1k quartz. That's the whole point here.
Oh, he's saying that Indra drops before you get the free 1,000 court, so you
I
will have to save.
know. Yeah. But Indra's 2 years out
So
for us, right? Like Indra is 2027 for us. Yeah.
yes,
It's mid 2027, but it is 2027.
I also don't think there's anything before Indra that you're really gonna want that year. The only thing I could get you are rerun banners.
Yeah. And look, I think if I get to, if I'm at that point, maybe I do actually make a genuine pity push for Indra. You know? Like if I had like 6 months in preparation and just nothing but rerun banners that I think I can ignore, then make an actual push for pity, you know? It'd be worth it. Yeah. Cuz that would be like a game-changing servant for me.
That said, I will say, if you want a servant that year, there's a good damn chance you'll get a servant that year. Almost every servant in the game gets at least 2, if not 3 banners.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, shit ton of rerun banners. It is a huge part of that's helpful. Where it's like you can grab, like, if you want higher NP copies of a servant that you're granting, you can grab that pretty easily. Um, Galactic Racers. Um, right now, my role plans for 2027 are a little fucked because I'm gonna have to pretty much ignore the rerun banners, and I'm just gonna super save even with that 1,000 quartz because I want one copy of Olga. I don't need NP5 Olga. I don't use my Olga enough in JP for me to be like I need this in NA too. Um, I plan to get one copy of Tiamat, one copy of Shiki, and then everything else is going into Kawakami Gensei. Oh, I love Kawakami Gensei's design so much, and she's so satisfying in that Grand Assassin duel. You know, tacos, that Solomon video has been pushed back multiple times, and after the most recent Solomon thing, I don't know, it very well could be.
Solomon's in the schedule.
Yeah, he is. He might get pushed back again for more story spoiler stuff.
Oh no.
I don't know. There's a specific point I want Seki to be in the story. It's not the finale.
Yeah.
And then I might feel pretty comfortable with spoiling everything else to do with that video. Yeah. So we'll see where Seki gets to and what we decide to do. Let's just say though, she needs to be significantly farther ahead than the goal is.
Yeah.
I'd say I'll put it this way. Atlantis. You would need to be through a good chunk of Atlantis before I'd be ready to record that Solomon video.
That's fair. Yeah, Dakota Doyle, you're right. Yep. 100%. I was betrayed. I was left on red.
Well, unfortunately, with the grand duels, like you can pick whatever you want as your grand servant, but your support, if your grand servant's not like the perfect counter to that support, you're picking the perfect counter to that fight, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unless you want hell in your farming.
You know, I could make a really terrible decision with my life on my Grand Archer.
I mean, Grand Archer's not the worst one to make a bad decision on. You literally just borrow Gilgamesh and he'll like 1 to 3 round it.
Grand Archer, there's 2 servants I'm planning on rolling on next year or trying to get. That one of them and one's this year. I could make a very bad decision and take a Jvathama. Or I could make a slightly better decision and go with Durga Kali.
There's another servant that might enter into the Grand Archer games by the time this comes around too, that I know that you're recording for next year.
I'm just taking a quick peek over Sabers real quick just to see if there's anyone else I'm particularly... If I could get myself a fucking Sigurd. If I could get myself a Sigurd, I would grand a Sigurd. Or an Ibuki Doji. But I don't have either of those servants, so... I would grand one of them, though. If I had them. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of servants that I would grand if I had them. You know, like in different classes outside of what I've said. But what I've said is entirely based on what I know I'm rolling for and what I already have, mostly. So. Yeah. It's interesting. They finally... The Iskandar Nendroid finally came in. So in the next, 2 weeks, I should be getting my Juge and my Iskandar and showing them off.
Nice.
A little Christmas present for myself that was supposed to come in September. No. No, Dakota Doyle. I've got archers I like more. You know who's a dark horse in the rider battle? Carmilla.
Yeah, if you can get a summer Carmilla.
Yeah. I do love Carmilla. We know this about me. There's just so many good riders. It's unfair. It's unfair. They're really coming at me with them. I haven't even...
If I had a nickel for every time a rider servant drove a red sports car, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. You don't know them yet.
Oh, I was going to say, I know Carmilla, but I don't know the other one.
Just a little bit of a foreshadowing hint for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think there's still ironically so many servants I don't know. Like it feels like there's very few servants left, but yet there are still a lot of servants I don't know, in every class pretty much. So it's not as if my opinions and rankings wouldn't change at some point relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really like Summer Suzuka. That video just came out recently, but I really like Summer Suzuka. You know?
Look, Dakota, Miyamoto Iori is actually a pretty good, reliable Grand Saber candidate. Not necessarily the best. The best is actually Saber Medusa and gameplay wise, but Miyamoto Iori will get the job done. Just the other end of that, speaking as an experienced Grand Takeru person, Grand Takeru is dead weight.
Yeah.
Summer Bryn comes with a free Sigurd.
That. Wait, really?
Remember in her animations, like Sigurd joins
Oh.
her and they do like the wedding cake cutting
Yeah,
animation
I don't mean that
with her
though.
weapon.
Oh, it's just like I never because I read the vocal lines. It's like an attack. It's like a vicious attack against my ears. It is funny though. It is very funny. Look, for all that the cringe was there, I actually do really like Osaka Behime and Suzuka Gozen.
Really?
They're
I've never
fun.
heard you express this.
No, they're fun. They're cringy, but they're fun. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I get it. I just didn't realize you enjoyed the cringe as much.
Oh, I do. I do. I can appreciate. I can appreciate. Um, just to shift the topic ever so slightly from FGO, since we're probably going to be coming in ending soon, given how long we've been going. My Hero, the anime,
My Hero ended.
finished. I mean, the manga obviously ended.
I didn't realize the final season had even started till I saw the news post that it ended.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, I finished the manga way back when the manga finished, and I haven't been keeping up with the anime. I do want to watch the whole anime, but I haven't so far. I just wanted to kind of sit down and be able to do it all at once. I might actually do it this break, while we've got a little bit of time, and I don't have to be at work. Because honestly, I really want to watch the final season. It looks peak as shit. I've been seeing AMVs and all sorts of stuff about it, and they are fantastic. Oh my god, they're so good. They're so good. I'm back in the trenches of My Hero AO3 too, because of it.
Well,
Huh?
I said wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I I want us to do more of it, but it's one of those sort of things where like I know we would enjoy it, but that's a lot of submissions of mine, and I could just watch it on my own and talk
It is
about
only
it.
about one dedicated season's worth, maybe two if you split up, if you even do half seasons. It's
Yeah,
only like 5 or 6 seasons, and there are only one core seasons.
yeah.
To my memory, they are. I don't think they're 2 core seasons.
Mm, let's take a look. I think it's something like 170 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 170 plus 10 OVAs.
Oh, I didn't realize they had that many episodes.
Yeah, so
Unless they tried to do
180
2 core
divided by
seasons.
20. That's 9.
I guess.
9 submissions.
Oh.
That's 2 full seasons. That's not counting movies.
And unlike something like Fairy Tale, you can't really just skip around outside the filler that
Yep.
includes that.
Yep. I actually
Well, right.
probably will do that, Dakota Doyle, to be honest. That's actually probably exactly what I'm going to be doing. I will have My Hero on screen, and I will probably be watching the dub and tapping away on the lotto. That's how I watched Dungeon Meshi during the last lotto. Remember? The
Mhm.
first lotto I got to play, Dungeon Meshi was out. I watched the entirety of Dungeon Meshi while tapping away at it.
By the way, I'm thinking about making a push to finish Demon Slayer at some point, either this season or next, because I realized looking at Demon Slayer based off of
Knick-knack, hold on a
of it-
second. Your Wi-Fi's cutting a little bit. We're getting robot knickknack and like
Let me see.
yeah. I just want to see if it recovers. Looks like you
It's
might.
recovering on my
Yep.
side a bit.
Looks like you're good.
Okay. What I was saying was I'm actually heavily considering um finishing or catching up on Demon Slayer because I realized that after spoiler alert for far out into the current season we're recording, not that we care about that much. We did do another submission of Demon Slayer. It ended up coming out of a rando hat.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that of the anime content, not the movie content, the anime content, there's only even one core arc left. Everything else is sort of like it's short. So if we after this rando submission, I literally just have one more submission, and I'm caught up to outside of the movies that are on coming out right now.
Yeah, that's fair. So just for reference, right? So the first and the last seasons of My Hero are one core, but 2 through 7 are two core. So yeah, that's where you were missing some anime density. They did 25 episode seasons for like 5 of them.
I didn't realize that they were. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Didn't think about it. I haven't watched My Hero in ages. I stopped watching around the what was it? Not the
Stain.
arc where a bunch of people fell off.
Right? You
I know
finished
like
Stain and then you stopped,
no,
I
I
thought?
stopped way after.
Oh.
I know a lot of people fall off after that the All for One fight. I
Mm-hmm.
did not. I actually kept going the season after that. I stopped after what's his name and the little girl. Technically, the last villain I saw
Oh,
was Gentle
Airy?
Criminal.
An
Yeah,
overhaul?
yeah. And then I watched Gentle
Oh.
Criminal after that because that was just kind of the capper at the end of the season.
Oh.
But
Okay.
and I liked those arcs. I just didn't continue after that.
Okay. Interesting. So that's just trying to think. That's see what, season 4? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
season 4. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. That makes sense. Yeah.
I liked the school festival arc. I actually did. It was one of my favorite arcs in series because I love Gentle Criminal.
See, the problem with My Hero Tacos is that and so Fairy Tail's ending this season. Point blank period. We know that it is an established fact, right? The problem is I've kind of already selected the next thing I want to try to get us through. And it's Inuyasha. Because I think we need a little bit of a return to basics. Let's go back to something from a while ago, a little bit older, a little bit more classic. Um, maybe lay off the really hardcore like made for kids shonen. Fairy Tail's got a very specific vibe, and I think Inuyasha could probably help us kick that a little bit, if nothing else.
Look,
And
I'm looking.
also, the entirety of Inuyasha, accounting for the final act, is under 200 episodes.
I'm looking forward to watching Inuyasha, but not for the same reason Seki is looking forward to me watching Inuyasha. I'm looking forward to watching Inuyasha because pretty much as soon as we get done with the first emission, I'm going to turn around and go watch the abridged series that's done by the same people that do the Unlimited Blade Works abridged, which is peak.
Dakota Doyle, let me yell on screen. No!
But I heard it was more horny.
So no, well, yes. No, so the original series of Inuyasha is 167 episodes, and Inuyasha the final act is 26 episodes. So add that up together, 167 plus 20 is 187 plus 6 is 193. Under 200 total. And that's not accounting for any ability to skip around in there. And I might skip some things because they're useless filler. So it's under 200. Significantly shorter than Fairy Tail, because Fairy Tail is 328. So we're going to something that I can get done much quicker. Especially if I get lucky with some random hats. Granted, the odds of that are incredibly slim, but I have been incredibly lucky. No, we're not gonna do Yashahime. Same as we're not doing 100 Years Quest. We're not gonna do Yashahime. If the boys want to go watch 100 Years Quest on their own or Yashahime on their own, they can, but I'm not going to push them through it. I got them through Fairy Tail. I feel like I served my penance. I don't need to hear the complaints about the horniness of 100 Years Quest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to take that on myself.
You think I would be complaining?
You wouldn't. Vorn would. And I, that it makes sense.
The randos.
Yeah. I'll put 100 Years Quest in the hat, but I'm not going to count on it getting pulled, and even if it did, I wouldn't put it back. You know?
Kind of how like you ditched One Piece after East Blue.
Look, I worked out an advantageous deal. I made the math work. I've given up on a lot of things, and I still have to put Bleach in for a submission at some point. And that's just gonna be a can of worms. I'm probably never gonna continue Bleach on the channel. I just the amount that I'd have to decide between cutting out and skipping, oh my god, I don't want to do that kind of math. It's part of the reason why I haven't really pursued Naruto in any capacity, like seriously. I want to get you through more of Naruto, don't get me wrong, but there's like a point, like in the original series, I think it's after the Tsunade retrieval arc and then the Sasuke retrieval arc, where I am just not willing to do the mental math to figure out how to exclude the filler, include the important bits, and still make a submission.
And that's fair. I 100% support your decision to not make us watch Naruto more.
Yeah. What? Like, I mean, as an off-the-shelf, I have to get one of the boys to read it. And that's a lot of reading. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of reading.
Oh no, Thriller Bark is after Ennis Lobby.
Yep.
Yeah, I did do that. Look, you'll have to see when that comes out. I have caught up with that on One Piece. We are done with we are done with Marineford. You'll have to see my reaction to Marineford when that off the shelf goes up.
You won't be waiting too long. It'll be this month
or early next month.
Yeah, early next month. Very early next month. Starting the year off right. I've got Naruto in the hat, but I'm just not really going to be pushing it. I think a lot of the thing with these big old shonens is I want to get you guys through some things just so I can talk about them with you guys, just so I can see how you guys feel about it. But it's a losing battle to try to do it to everything I love because it's just so long, you know? Like it's just too much for me, right? And there's only so much I'm willing to deal with if you guys don't like something a whole ton, because like Katekyo, I'm just soured on showing it to you guys, and we've discussed this before. It doesn't need to be shown again necessarily unless it comes out of the random hat. It's not something I'm gonna push.
Just funny because some of those last submissions of Katekyo ended up much more positive.
Only the last one. But yeah, it's fine. Like there are people I know who have seen Katekyo. I think I know at least one person now who likes Katekyo, and I can enjoy Katekyo on my own. I did hear that rumor, Tacos, and if it is true, I will make them watch it.
We have to start from the beginning again.
Yes. You guys will get to see how he feels about all of those things when you watch that off the shelf. I'm not spoiling any of that here because I am very excited for that. And not only are you going to get one episode on that, but then you're also going to get a retrospective of the entire pre-time skip with another one of our friends later in that month. You will be eating well if you enjoy One Piece. But yeah, I think Inuyasha just seemed like a fun place to go from Fairy Tail. It's different. And we'll get something with a little bit of a more linear plot. I say, maybe.
By the way, you know Moist Critical, right?
Yes.
Did you hear that he finished and caught up to One Piece? I didn't watch the entire video, so I wasn't spoiling myself. Apparently, he is singing its absolute praises. after a certain point. Even though I know he was famous for the I don't like One Piece. I've tried it multiple times. Apparently, he hit a certain point. I think was it Ennis Lobby or something like that, and he started loving it. So take your win.
I will. I will take all of my wins. I will run with them. I will not question them.
Look, guys. The problem is if you are a Shonen Club fan with the club, T.H.E is really the one mostly feeding you guys. But the problem with Shonen is it's hard to feed that much in that high a quantity in the club.
And if I say, hey, we're going to watch 20 episodes of Bleach and never any more, there's always going to be someone like, oh, but that's not where Bleach gets good. You got to get further. And I'm like, okay. But what about all the other things? I don't always want to be submitting one anime. Why do you think I'm fighting so hard to beg, barter, and steal with other people's submissions? If y'all if any of you actually watched the Redline video, I am beg, barter, and stealing for other people to submit things that I want to see because I can't. I can't if I want to get us through something. And at this point, we are so far into Fairy Tail, it would feel like giving up to stop. We're so close. Guys, we're 4 submissions away from being done with original Fairy Tail. Oh, I have to. I have to finish. I have to. I just have to. My God. Oh, I suffer the most here because the boys can just throw in and be like, oh, I saw this on like the seasonal anime and then this kind of looked good, you know? I don't have that option if I want to show them things that I want to force them to watch.
In fairness to me, I feel a little bit more beholden than I used to keep Fate coming every few submissions on this channel now.
Well, that's because we're
I did not used to have them. Not because you were enjoying it so much, because that's where the viewership, like the viewership, I know a lot of our fans like Fate, so it's good.
Look.
So apparently the viewership's not as good as Baldur's Gate. What the fuck's going on with those Baldur's Gate streams?
Our last Baldur's Gate stream didn't hit that hard.
Okay. I wonder what happened with those 2 in a row, though.
Yeah, those 2 in a row really hit it somewhere that people were enjoying. But this last one wasn't nearly as popular. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not as if we're gonna stop, but yeah.
The FGO parody anime video. That's in the hat. It's not something I have not made any plans to directly push it yet. Partially because by Seki demand, I'm kind of making an effort on Prisma Ilya. I just want to make sure she reads it before we watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even feel bad about the season. I think I've co-opted basically 4 out of Realm's 5 submissions just by showing him things that I think he'll like and being like, wouldn't it be cool if we watched this? I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. He'd be picking random new shows that he thought looked interesting anyways.
Look, if I can help it, it would be 3 out of his 5 submissions.
How bold of you to assume. We all know he's gonna get that. We all know he's gonna get K-pop Demon Hunters. At some point.
I have a nuclear option. I have a final solution.
Look, here's the thing, Nick Nack. Pain is temporary. I'll tank it. Pain is temporary. Suffering is for the weak. I can tank it.
I have a final plan to prevent Realm from ever submitting K-pop Demon Hunters, and don't you test me.
Respectfully, it's gonna get watched. You are everyone here has watched it except for you. You are going to be watching it. Now, whether you make that far more painful for yourself or not, that's up to you. You're just building it up, you know? Yeah, pain is an old friend. It's fine. Yeah, I do need to do the learning with manga off the shelf. I'll probably work on that this Christmas if I remember.
You need to tell me when we're doing that, because I need to read it myself. I have only read like the first 20 or so volume or chapters of that.
Watch me be done with it by the time you get back.
They release these things weekly.
Yeah.
For 10 years,
yeah.
Seki.
Yeah, but they're short. They're like 2 pages. It's fine.
Yeah, I haven't read that many of them.
Buddy, I went through 180 episodes of Meme Girls in a weekend.
Got that kind of time.
I just sit down and do it. Anyways, it is pushing 9:40. I've got work in the morning, and I think you do too. And I actually need to go make some dinner.
All right.
So I actually need to get going. I know we're
You'll
having
be
a fun
back.
chat, but I gotta get going.
You'll be back Wednesday with your FGO
Yep,
stream, right?
Wednesday morning. I don't know if we're gonna go longer than 3 hours. Just depends on how I'm feeling. I do have a cutoff time that I have to be done by, but it's like 5:30 p.m. So honestly, it's not really a cutoff time per se. And then I'll be doing. I will be doing an Anno 117 on Friday. I kind of gonna push it for maybe like that like 2 to 3 start time if I can. I have it scheduled for 3, but I might do it a little earlier. I gotta talk to my mom about a potential to visit a buffet. And if so, I will push it back so I can go to the
So
buffet.
I will be dropping the horror thing again here. The next time y'all will see me is 2 a.m.
Thursday, right?
on Saturday.
Saturday. Oh yeah, and then Saturday in the evening, you and I are gonna play some co-op games together.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Um,
take a long ass. I'm gonna go to bed and wake
yeah,
up and play some co-op games with you.
yeah. Speaking, it's a good thing we're in the family library. I think we're gonna play some stuff like Goblin Cleanup. We're gonna try Peak. We're just gonna play like there are a level or two of a bunch of different co-op games that we've got in our family library that we've picked up recently. And that'll be kind of fun because it'll just be chilling and talking. And playing
I
new
know.
games
I know, Tacos. I have no idea what viewers I'm gonna get at 2 a.m. if any.
on
Who the
Saturday.
fucking are? Yeah,
Wait,
who
like
the
like
fucking are?
like 2 a.m. Saturday, as in like Friday turns over to Saturday, then 2 a.m., or Saturday turning to Sunday 2 a.m.
Friday turns over to Saturday
Oh,
and then 2 a.m.
oh, okay. Catch me there, honestly. I'm actually usually up during that specific time layover. I typically Fridays I will stay up super super late and not go to bed.
Just coming, hey, you need to hear about this awesome fan fiction that I've been reading for the last 5 hours.
Yeah. That's genuinely what it'll be. I'll have been sat at my computer like AFKing a Minecraft farm or something, reading fucking AO3 on my phone, and I'll see the stream notification. I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's happening.
It'll be hilarious if this FGO finale's first chapter drop is like 2 fights and
Oh,
I'm done by in like an hour.
it'll be so funny. I'm not gonna aim to pop in, but there's a 50-50 I will actually just be awake then.
Look, I
Um,
wasn't counting on having. I was counting on being the weirdo in my apartment in the middle of the night getting a noise complaint in the morning.
no, my sleep schedule is terrible. I sleep when I have work, and that's kind of about it. That's like the only guaranteed time that I actually attempt to sleep. So, hence why we are logging off, because I do
Yeah.
need to attempt to sleep.
We'll see you guys later this week.
Yep. Totals, everyone.